Hello everyone, welcome back to another live stream here on the twitch.tv slash the Xisuma. Working on this project again like we did last stream. Actually made some significant progress so that we can do what we need to do. A bunch of glowing mobs off in the distance. Why is it all the ones out there that are glowing? None of them closer to us, very strange. Hot Gamer, Enderdan, welcome to the stream. Still getting things set up here. So I will just be doing that. Where am I going to log in with this other account? Because I've got like an old AFK spot now. Yeah, I need to go erase all of that. Welcome to all the peeps tuning in. I'll be explaining what we're up to. Just maybe not straight away because lots of peeps are still tuning in. Don't need this anymore. And we don't need this. Sorry, fella. Okay. Also, that right there, well, that's exactly what I needed to discover next, so that's terrific. TP the other one to this one. Bam. And then put some stone above you. For the phantoms. Is it in survival or creative? I can't remember. It's in creative. Okay, now it's in survival. And now in theory, the perimeter is in effect. In theory. So, for those of you that watched yesterday's live stream and maybe watched the VOD, let's bring you up to speed on what we've learned. It turns out this thing was actually working, and someone had the theory in chat, and to me it sounded kind of silly. But it turns out that they are legitimately correct. How am I going to best... I think I know I'm going to do this. Need to use the stack tool. I guess I need to figure out like a number before I do this. I need to like make a marker somewhere around here. Like 58, about here. That's going to be about the ceiling, I think. So that's important. And we haven't got all the water yet because it won't form over these bits. We need to fill in those. There you go. And then we know that they're done because the water will flow over the top. I think I goofed it up on that one, yep. Okay, all the way to the corner? Yeah, right. So, stack it upwards. To about there. And that should be the rough dimensions of the farm. Okay, now the next thing is to show you what happens with the carpet, right? So, let's go place a carpet. Can you see how it says drowned will 0%? Now, I think the 0 might have something to do with the time of day. Or is it to do with light levels? 2%, 1%. Oh, yeah, 0 because it's closer to the ground. So I didn't think about this, but oh wait a minute, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 2% here, zeros, 2 and 1%. What height are we at? 56. Oh, the block is 56. So we had this number about Y58, but now we can practically see stuff's not going to spawn there. If I go ahead and put a block here and put the carpet under it, then nothing can spawn. Let's go one higher. And it's still 2%. So our roof, the roof for the farm will be here, is what we've just learned. So, turns out that, you know, a drowned basically doesn't spawn on the floor of the ocean. It needs to spawn above it, which is something someone said. And I thought that was silly. I thought the carpet mods would accommodate for that, but it doesn't actually. You have to place it higher up. Oh, it's like a 3% chance over here. Now, if there being a block next to where you're testing influences it somehow, I don't know, right? Because there's no other way to place it other than right-clicking. So it seemed a little strange to me that you'd have to do that, but, you know, that's how it works then. The carpet mod is so cool to you. It's an amazing mod. I also kind of want to like tidy up these walls a bit now that they're all got multiple materials on them. Let's get this thing looking clean. Okay, so then we want glass. Oh, do I have night vision? I do have night vision. I'm pretty sure they changed how night vision looked. One of the recent snapshots. Yeah, well, I still want the stack tool. I kind of wish that Axiom had a quick, like, rapid-fire fill. That would be kind of handy. Now, the next thing, if I use a sponge and it's separated, does it get rid of the water below it? No. Good. Okay. That's the roof of our farm. That is the roof of our farm. I did kind of wonder if putting a roof to influence light levels would be required in the day, didn't I? Let's go change the time to... And then let's go ahead and change this to stone then. I mean, I like the glass, but what's it like when it's stone? 1%. Some zeros? It feels to me like that's different. Ones and zeros, right? And then change the time of day. And, well, time of day influences it, apparently. But so does the ceiling. Interesting stuff. Could use tinted glass. Blooming, great suggestion, honestly. We're likely going to end up with something that looks a little similar to this on the server. It will have a shape like this. I'm probably just going to place all of the blocks down to here. Maybe carve up some sections and remove sponges. I'm not sure what's quicker, placing all the blocks. Placing all of the blocks, though, it does give us the opportunity to do something novel with it. Like, what if we picked a different material for each ring? Then you come over here, you look at it, and you go, wow, that's interesting. You'd have to light it up so things don't spawn on it. So it could be kind of cool to make it look interesting at the same time. Right, let's now turn it over to chat. Just before I do, a couple of things. So yesterday when we streamed, we didn't have any noises in the air. Today we had LK Smith and Claire Dinney with the primes 17 and 16 hours ago. So if you happen to be here now, thank you so much for using those. Obviously coming along and subscribing when I'm not streaming, which is awesome. Thank you. But I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, oh no, wait, it did. It updated. Oh, I was just thinking it didn't update all the other ones. It did. It updated all of the stuff from yesterday. Okay, so the feed's sort of working again by the looks of it, and the stuff from yesterday appeared. So, Smartin1018, thank you for 115 months. Loving the approach you have to episodes this season. It's been super fun to watch so far. Thank you, my dude. Yeah, I feel like I've turned a new leaf, and with time, I kind of want to lean into it a little bit more. I do feel like I still have this kind of reflexiveness to lean into, you know, that kind of rhythm and cadence and get the next video out. And it's like, I got to break that mentality a little bit now. Got to treat my episodes differently. So, hopefully I can figure that out going forward, you know, and get on top of it. Because I'm very obsessive. I'm very like, I get really fixated and focused on things. And it's very easy for me to just like fall into that old rhythm and just go crazy with episodes and stuff, which I don't want to do. I want to make them special and different and unique and feel like their own little thing each time. Heart Gamer enjoyed today's episode. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. Has anyone come over from the episode? I pinned a comment saying that I'm live. Some of you may have gone to comment and then tuned over here. Run Oppa, thank you for the Prime. And Super Tortoise Boy, thank you for 6 months. Much appreciated. Thank you so much for the support, people, as always. I am here with a hot cup of tea. Decided to warm my hands. And actually, they're not that cold at the moment. But, yeah. Smartin's been watching for over 10 years. And these episodes have been some of your favourites. Awesome. If you want to elaborate on that any further, if you like, I always appreciate some input. I really like it when you know, you can read a comment, you can get someone's outside perspective, and it can teach you something about what you're doing. Because I feel like I'm doing that, and then when it's reflected, that's great. But like, if anyone feels like they want to go into more detail, I welcome that. Just been binging some Xisuma Says. You have some great frankness and openness in your discussion, says Super Tortoise Boy. Thank you, my dude. Yeah, that's how I think and feel about things. I've got a little bit of an Xisuma Says moment for later this stream. I got a topic that's on my mind after watching some Breaking Bad today, but we'll probably leave that for the right moment rather than talk about it now. But yeah, I am, you know, I think it's easy to think you're open-minded and a lot harder to be open-minded. There are certain aspects of who I am that are probably not open-minded. We are, after all, creatures of habits and repetitions, and that can extend into how we see the world as well, I think. So I like to talk about things, reminding people of like my own ignorance, because I think there's a lot in the world you can know about, and to be frank, most of us don't know a lot about it. You know, there's much more to know than you could ever know, and that to me is just something to keep in mind when exploring all the things that are out there that you could have opinions on and stuff. I like how they're much longer and feature one project in depth. Variety is good too. It's hard to say what feels right. Smart, and you like, I mean, you know, I'm trying to gleam out some like little thing that I didn't think of, but you've literally like, that's what I feel like. It's got that one big project. We go deeper into it. We don't split it up across multiple episodes, and I try and like shake it up as we go along. That's literally what I've been doing. Like, you know, the little moments where we break for a collab and stuff. That's just me trying to keep it fresh. So it's pretty hilarious that you've picked up on the same beats. And it's not hilarious. It just shows that maybe that's the way it goes, right? Please feel free to refer to an appropriate place for this question. But I was wondering, what are your thoughts on the hosting service? If you have an option for it. We want a place for friends to play and to build big farms and stuff too. If you want a server that handles Minecraft well, and you're looking for a dedicated server, I think Hostinger is one that we either used in the past, or it's what we use for our private servers. And when I say we, I'm talking about my community, not Hermitcraft. Like, our servers, I think, are hosted with them. I don't know if we got a Mace score in chat. If we had a Mace score in chat, I could get you an answer. OXF24, thank you for 108 months. Hi X, long time since I've caught a live stream. Well, the thing is though, if you've got 108 months to your name, you've caught most of them. It couldn't have been that long. Well, actually, I guess it could have been over a year, because I think our top subs are like, maybe around 120 months, I think. Anyway, thank you so much. Over 100 months. Absolutely insane support. So peeps, I experimented a little bit, right? I did some tests, and then I moved my tests out of the ocean. But I wanted to preserve them just to show you my thinking. This seems to be the way that we're going to capture the corals, is with minecarts going back and forth. They get picked up, but because they're one high, there isn't really a way to eject them exactly where you want, at least that I'm aware of. I would like to eject them into... Or maybe there is. Maybe I should come back to that and experiment a little bit more. Yeah, that sounds like a fair thing to do. Experiment a little bit more. So maybe we'll come back to that. Here's another idea, right? What about sending them upwards? The problem here is that they are very resistant to the flow of water. So although you can push them up, once they're up the top here, they don't get pushed by this water. And the reason that there's some signs here is because I noticed that, excuse me, even when bobbing up and down relatively close to the surface, they will get sent up top. But we can't control where they go. Like, they resist the flow of water, as you will see here. They're not just going to skim on down here. So that there isn't a particularly great way to send them up and then put them into one spot. So for this reason, I feel like minecarts are the way to go here. Hi, Xisuma, you did an ad for a hosting service a while ago. I wanted to purchase a server device. What are you using for Hermitcraft? You cannot find the host anymore. What is their name? It's Logic Servers. The guy who runs it used to be a part of my community and helped me run XPD back in the day. And yeah, I have a partnership with them. So, do I have a thing? Do I have like a... I think you can find it on my link tree, actually. If you go to linktree.xisuma.co, there should be a link to Logic Servers. That gets you the codes that will get you some percentage off of your first purchase. So I can highly recommend them because I know the guy personally, and they provide a great service. So if you're looking for a no-hassle Minecraft server, you know, that's one way to go. So I was basically going to do this again over there, except we would do something different with the minecarts to trying to get them into a water stream. Now I'm sort of thinking, let's not give up on that idea, right? Let's give it another try. So I was trying to get them to go diagonally across to where soul sand would push them up, but then yeah, I've just thought of the problem with the other idea. So let's say, can we erase this for now? Go ahead and erase this. Delete that. Right, we've got... We've got a lot of stuff here. Let's get rid of it. Let's simplify what we're doing. So, the coral's going to come out. The thing with the activator rail, it just so happens that I looked at this system earlier today, and that seems a bit fortuitous because my plan wasn't to learn anything for this stream today. I just had a thought that our pruning might disrupt the... we have an automated pruning system, and it might disrupt the wither skeleton farm that Tango and Impulse are working on, right? Is Xisuma using cheats in the Hermitcraft server, says Meowie, with a cracked love heart. Oh gosh, what a filthy cheat I am. Just cheating on the Hermitcraft server, except I'm not on the Hermitcraft server, so no. Oh, and someone replies saying, yes, I think so. Thanks, mate. Thanks for that. God, so dramatic. Like, do you really think I'm going to be just streaming me cheating on Hermitcraft? Oh, no one will notice. No one will notice. Oh, it appears that I'm designing a farm. Does it now? That's a really strange way of cheating. Like, you know, not just giving myself diamonds and stuff. You know, just cheating to design a farm. How peculiar. Right. So there's a pruning, automated pruning system, and I thought when Impulse and Tango were setting up the perimeter for their wither farm, they might have not spent a lot of time in some chunks placing buttons and pressure plates to prevent spawns. So I thought I'd go do a little check, and it looked to me like it was pretty sound and that there wasn't anything wrong with it. But it gave me the time to have a little look at their farm as well. And what I noticed they were doing is something where like the activator rail goes up a block, which we probably won't be able to do here because you then need to break that block, which breaks that. It would go up a block and then somewhere else. Anyway, my brain just gave me an idea. So whatever it was I was trying to recreate and not do a good job of explaining, I just kind of saw a possible solution. So I don't think it's going to be great, but it might not be terrible. Let's word it like that. That sounds reasonable. Okay, so like, look at this. Now, the coral nautilus can kind of go to a bunch of different spots here. And I'm hoping it will go to one of the ones we want. You know what? I think you can see what's about to happen, so I don't need to say too much on it. And then that one gets blocked off, right? And let's actually bring that back. Yeah, and then bucket of water. And then stack. So, like, if this works, we can bring them up, yeah? Might need to work on something to merge them closer together, and maybe do that sooner than later. But that's a little better than my previous attempt to make this succeed in some capacity. So what we'll do is we'll put in that and then this here. Why is it? Oh, it's actually taking a fair bit of damage. Okay, let's change that one to activator rail. I kind of want to do this in a way where I don't cause a bunch of hassle. Yeah, I'm going to stand there and like block it. There you go, right. No hassle now. So it stops the minecart. No, it doesn't stop the minecart. Oh. Well, you know what? That kind of worked. Sorry, mate. It kind of worked. Yeah, but it can come back out and it can stop the minecart, you know. That doesn't strike me as being particularly reliable. I also have a feeling that some of these minecarts could get stopped. That is perfect timing. And this is why maybe you want to use a system where you redeploy the minecarts so there's like a constant stream of them moving through, because you don't want stuff to break. So I would say, we just saw a concern that I have happen right there. And I've never built one of those systems where you constantly shoot minecarts through. If we build that, I'm probably going to rethink the shape of this. It's probably going to be more like, maybe we want narrower lanes. Oh yeah, look, here's your evidence of like how simple it is to build a pufferfish, clownfish, bone meal farm. We'll probably put one of those nearby just for the fun of it, but the side a mob is ejected is directional. Oh, thank you for that tip, Foreign Dan. That's potentially very helpful. Also, Bellona T, thank you for 87 months of support. That's wonderful. Hope you're having a good evening. Christmas is getting close, right? I hope you all have got good plans for the holidays and are enjoying what I'm assuming now will probably be the beginning of time off for a lot of people, right? Let's check that out then. So, like, what happens if it goes in this direction? Will it work a little smoother for us? That one appeared to put it in the exact same spot, which was directly behind it. I'm not really aware of, like, a methodology here to change... I mean, actually, immediately, I can think of something that might work. I may require more knowledge, you know, about how this stuff works. Oh, okay, that was like an immediate success. Did X just have a good guess? Oh, twice. Oh. Ooh-wee. All right, that's good. That's good stuff. Let's do that over here as well and check out that directionality stuff. Oh, I like it when you stumble onto something like that. It's quite common actually when doing redstone. But like what's irritating about it is like you don't know, you just have to keep trying stuff. So you're never quite sure how far you are away from figuring something out. Sometimes that moment can happen after like a long time of working on stuff. And look at this, if it's directional or not, that seems to consistently eject them into the correct place. So that's terrific stuff right there. Okay, so I think that we're looking at creating a minecart dispenser system that sends them across, like that, down. And then I think we have to get rid of the minecart, bring it back, and then run it so it runs in a loop. And then we can make a choice about the dimensions of our farm after, because now that we've done that, we need to get them to potentially... They need to end up in one area for us, the player. Or do they? Like, what are we trying to do here? We're not farming them for drops. We're actually just trying to capture them. So getting them to a single spot is probably not actually a priority, right? We just want to get them to a holding area. So I could quite easily just have a bunch of these go all the way up to be in range of the player. Now, that is our AFK spot, and it is positioned pretty much dead over the farm. So if they're going to come out of the farm about here, we can put them in range of the player. Is all of this sounding good, chat? Like, let's take a moment to hear your concerns. Are you following the train of thought? We don't need to kill them. I was thinking, like, put them in one spot, hit them with your sword. No, it's not that type of farm. So the fact that they're separated here isn't a big of an issue, because we're just going to take them up to a holding area so they can't despawn, right? That's the trick. Why not draw them with a turtle egg? Are they drawn to turtle eggs? Dude, that might be even more genius. Are they drawn to turtle eggs? Is this a real thing? I mean, wait, how do I want to test that? Why does this farm give EG drops? It doesn't. I'm saying the opposite. I'm not seeing any evidence that they're drawn to those eggs. I don't understand why you think that is a thing. Still concerned that the Nautilus will block minecart as they move across if there are too many in one spot. Me too. That's why I'm thinking that we need to send the minecarts across in a chain. I don't know if you've seen this system before, but what I'm talking about is minecarts move in one direction, and there's one every block. It's like boom, 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 boom. They're just going to keep going, and we're going to dispense them with clocks. Now, because of that, we need to consider the arrangement to minimize that problem. But before we do that, Callie, the goal is collecting them. I was thinking, like, although that's the goal, I was just thinking in regular mob farming terms, which is why, you know, I'm thinking, right, now the next step is you try and get them into one spot together, right? Because that's the usual thing you do. But this is a different type of farm, so that's just, you know, slowly getting all the pieces together one by one. If a drowned is riding it, isn't the drowned attracted by the egg? True. So that's a little... That's interesting. So the coral nautilus is the one we're farming. Oh, that's a good point. Oh, you know what? Oh, man. Okay, I went through all of this earlier. I went around this area looking for where the warm ocean might meet a different ocean to put the farm in a different spot. It doesn't. I could have possibly gone a little further with my search. I might do that again so that we can build two versions of this farm. That way, you could have the regular zombie with the trident rider and then a coral one. The coral one doesn't spawn with a rider if I've understood things correctly. Let me go use MC Stacker. We want to summon a Nautilus. Or do I put in zombie? Zombie Nautilus, and then there should be like a coral variant somewhere. Just type in coral. No, not coral. Surely it has a variant? Oh, the variant is warm. So warm or temperate. And I'm gonna give it a rider. Anyways, I'm gonna give it a rider and even give it a trident. And then that's it. So I got the commands. Good stuff, chat. Good stuff. You're definitely helping me consider all elements again, because I keep losing track of stuff, you know. Now I don't know if they spawn like that, right? I'm under the impression they don't, but it's not particularly clear. Maybe I should get some clarification from someone who can look into the code or something like that, because that would actually be pretty important to know. And on that note, if we do this over here, like, is this going to mess with our farm? I totally didn't see what happened then. Oh, it stays in jockey form. So if it does, then it's a bonus trident farm. Wow. Well, I think that means we continue on the same track. Let me take some notes, right? So it's super clear for all the units, super clear for me. Our latest thinking for this now is potential location for warm / temperate temperate farms side by side. I actually think that I should really, if I'm going to do this, I should find the perfect place to do it so that we can farm both types, right? If it turns out there isn't one on the server, that's fine. It might mean I dig a tunnel that's very far in the nether. And we could do that grind together on stream or something, right? Now, that's one consideration. The second one we need to know, although if I go ahead with that, it doesn't really matter, is just coral variant spawn with drowned rider. But we've just seen that that's not going to mess with what we're doing here. So now we can focus in. We know, I think we know all the variables about how to do this farm. We're focusing in on the layout and the function of this minecart thing. So I'm going to start, I think, by doing the minecart thing. I'm gonna use my usual blocks now because I'm not going to spam redstone everywhere. I could do, actually, but yeah. Captain Blackheart, thank you ever so much for your Prime subscription, my dude. Hope you're enjoying the stream. So the system that we're going to build, I think... There's several approaches here. We could, like, double up the magma and have one rail going in between. But I think I'll probably stick to this, and it's about, do we want width or do we want length? And I think we want width because... It strikes me as like the longer the minecart has to travel, the more chance of a mob touching it and causing an issue, right? So, in that case, I'm going to say that we're going to have our farm be no longer than 7 blocks. Now, that is on the short side. Let's get a dispenser. Here, and I think you can do it like this. Although, surely it would need to be powered. No, I don't think you can do it like that. I think what you want is to have your rail there. Okay, and then this block here would need to be powered. So, minecarts will... There's a part of me now that's thinking you could have a chain of hoppers all the way across, but then we go down a block here, right? I mean, you could go up a block to go down a block. And then just have hoppers underneath it all the way across. You're pretty much going to use hoppers anyway. Should we try it? I think we'll try it. We'll try and make this thing like as straightforward as possible. And we don't need that powered block because we power it from here now. And then we need a little bit of redstone for when the items arrive in here to just power it and send them back out again. That'll probably be a clock, not a detection-based system. So now when we reach the end of this area, and this might mess with what we're doing a little bit. Could potentially mess with it. We go up. Still going to need the hoppers. We go up to go down. And how do we get our rail back? I think I know how. I think it's quite simple for us actually. Wait, where am I? Where's my rails? There they are. Yeah, I think it's quite simple. I'm a little bit concerned. I think we can do it using this. So look at where the hopper is, right? Now, if that works, that's really simple. It uses a lot of hoppers, but then you don't have to faff around with a lot of redstone. And we don't like faff, remember? So it's that there is where the water streams are on the previous one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then the 7th one is here. Maybe we can get away with just doing that. That's the end of the farm. So then we have that for collecting water. And that's pretty much everywhere it needs to go. Can you waterlog that? You can. I'm not sure if we want it waterlogged. It might be better if it isn't, but I'll leave it waterlogged for now. Please excuse the mess. I guess we'll do that for now, just for testing. We'll do it like this. That's fine. That's fine. This should give us pretty much everything we need to test this thing. Which is what we're here to do. And we'll be able to tile it if it turns out it's decent. I guess we want blocks here as well. So that's looking pretty good. Let's go and put a minecart on it and see what happens. Right, that's not looking so good. Is it because of that block there? And it doesn't break it. I thought that would break it. Is it a particular size you have to use? Okay, now I need my technicals in chat, my technical peeps. They need to tell me what I'm doing wrong here. Do I need a particular size? Is there something else to this setup? Because it would be nice if that worked, basically. But it doesn't. Let's try something else here as well while I wait for chat to help out. Like that, and then remove that. Wonder if that does anything. Cactus? You know, cactus might work. That's a funny suggestion, actually. Cactus would work. Yeah. Oh, good point, Callie. That doesn't break it. That's for alignment. You are correct. I'm misremembering how things work. Okay, in which case I actually think sand and cactus kind of sounds like a really good idea. Let's go ahead and put a block here, put a block there. Maybe just a regular rail? Probably won't waterlog it. Yeah, and then that goes all the way back here. And then we'll have a clock to send the next one out again. Awesome. Right, I'm thinking that that's a good amount of testing for now. I don't want to rush into doing this. And it didn't dismount it. Interesting. Or it did, and it didn't find the right spot to go to. It actually takes it all the way into this space here, doesn't it? What if we can add a slab in there? This is actually striking me as the bit where it starts to take up way too much time. There we go. Oh wait, one came back out? The slab stops it. What if it's a trapdoor? And then you get stuck there on top of the rail. Right, so what's different between these two? Not entirely sure, but that's where we go down the rabbit hole. I think that's good for today. I think that's a good place to stop. Because we've got some great questions, and we've figured out most of the engineering, and we kind of know what direction this farm is going in. And I'm actually now quite excited for this project because it's looking quite doable now that we've made some huge progress compared to yesterday. Definitely not Wonder. Thank you ever so much for 2 months. Peeps, this is a Hermitcraft stream, and I do want to be on the Hermitcraft server today. And crazy mad spoilers, I guess. Crazy mad spoilers. Who else is online? We've got a few other peeps online. This is your spoilers. In fact, if anyone wants to just throw some feedback at me and be like, this is what I think, now's your time. Aquarius Rebel, thank you for the Prime subscription. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Callie coming in with a great suggestion about the farm, actually, is that if we're going to break the minecart, yeah, that's a great point. Why use the activator rail? Let me make a note. This is why I wanted to stop, because you need to think it through. The only problem there, Callie, is if it doesn't do that thing where it shimmies them off to the side, then it's unfortunately not helpful. You love the gradient. Yeah, there's a little bit of gradient going on there. Dude, this guy just flying right in my face. There's a little bit of gradient going on there. Looks like an Edwardian townhouse. Yeah, I'm yet to reveal my source of inspiration in a video, I think, but I'll tell you now. It started with a builder called Blaze85, whose builds I really like. And then when investigating their builds and trying to figure out, like, what's the secret sauce, what's making this work, I realized that shaders go a long way to making the builds look very presentable. And so I tried to recreate some of these shaders and learned that I didn't like how they looked. And that led me down the path to the removal of vanilla shaders. That was like the middle ground that kind of worked. Got this from Mumbo. He doesn't play with any shading, and then I realized that all I want is to just dial it a little bit in that direction. I don't want to remove it entirely. So I've been working on this, right? Getting this aesthetic together, and now I'm working on the builds inspired initially by Blaze, but then Corrales pointed out that they look like these Lego build sets, and I realized that what Blaze is doing is just looking at the Lego build sets and then recreating them in Minecraft, with some creative liberties, you know, sprinkled in. And so I thought I'd do the same thing. I would start with something external to Minecraft rather than someone else's Minecraft build, and it's been a lot of fun putting this together. I do it all in creative, and then I come and rebuild it in survival. It's one of my gripes, really. I'm not a survival builder. It's too slow to keep me interested. I have to do so much trial and error to get to an end result that I like, that if I did it in survival, I wouldn't get anywhere. Honestly, it'd just be horrendous. It would take me like a month to create this build. So I've been chipping away at this in the background on my Redstone server. I have a little creative world where I go and build stuff, and yeah, just taking inspiration from these Lego build sets. Dang it, which one is it? It's this one here. I'm taking inspiration from these Lego build sets and then just bringing it here to Hermitcraft, I guess. Right, what I have to do is just think a little as I'm doing this. Just think about what materials we've already tried to put away and what ones now need to come back here. And bit by bit, if you think it through, it's this whole thing is a really good system. It's just if I'm talking at the same time, then it kind of slows down your focus a bit. Where is the sand one? It should be really obvious which that one is. Okay, so then we go for the sand stuff in there. And then is it that one that's quartz? Quartz one is back in here. And then last of all, logs, right? And now I've successfully tidied everything away. And this one is like the complete junk that we need to do away with. However, what we're going to do today, by the way, is some more farm building, and some of these materials will actually be genuinely useful for that now that I think about it. So I'm going to leave that one there. Take these with me. Let's go ahead and do that. I think I've got some materials in here. Yeah, that's right. I was getting a little bit more of that stuff together. But it can go back in there for now. I've got some leftover coal. Right, we're looking good. We're looking breezy. Let's tidy this away. Robbie says, thanks for the inspiration. Lego to Minecraft. Somehow never thought about it. Yeah, it's funny, right? It's funny. Like, I'm primarily not a builder, so, like, building stuff is a stretch for me. It's like, I'm intentionally trying to do something that is kind of difficult. I think if you were really inspired by building, and it was like an interest of yours, you would have like that knowledge there because you probably already are adjacent to these things. You know, like Lego would be interesting, certain architectural stuff that you know about, and so you'd find your way to those things quite easy. Just in case I end up rummaging around looking for a piece of moss, I'm going to take some of that. Oh yeah, and this, by the way, this is the foundations of the next building. So like, the next building is going to wrap around this corner, and I've started designing this one a little bit. And then I've also got designs for something over there. And I'm just kind of like in the mood to get them going now. We've designed this little area down the bottom here. It's not finished. It'll continue to evolve. Fun fact for you, if you saw today's episode, what do these little guys like to do? They like to stare off. Like, the guy on the left likes to stare in that direction. The guy on the right likes to stare in that direction. They literally turn away from where you would be approaching this place. But if you stand here, they then look at you. And it's actually pretty cool when they turn around. So I'm going to back up. I'm going to back up like a mad truck and look for our little baby cow, which I'm going to guess has found its way to a bunch of adults by now. Or potentially into there. I don't see you, though. Baby cow is forever going to be something I need to fix on occasion around here. Maybe I could have leashed it to the adult down below, because it can keep up with it. That is a curious idea. Curious idea. Right, if it's not there, I have seen it wander off in that direction before. Oh my god. I'm worried now, I'm concerned. I'm like a mother who's lost her child. He said, no, that would actually be very dramatic. The building looks good. The quartz, from back here, the quartz, I think, really pops out a bit too much. But I think once we get the next building alongside it, it will help balance it out. It too has some light colours. Anyone seen the baby cow? Did I walk past it? Oh boy, we've probably lost it. Right as I start fixing it, it goes missing again. Oh no! Where has it wandered to? It could have gone anywhere, really. Oh, that's really sad that it wanders off. Well, is it murdificated? Oh, please don't say that. Please don't say that. I'm kind of hoping it wandered into a pen and it's safe. Like maybe over here. But there is no sign of it. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm wondering if it's not really possible for it to get down underground. Like, what if it ended up in there again or something, right? That'd be kind of weird. Oh, I think it's gone. Oh, little baby. Wait. There is a lot of them scrunched here. I think it's gone. Well, we do have another idea, which is to leash. To leash it. And since it can keep up, why not let it leash, you know? Why not let it leash? Dang it. Well, these fellas didn't reset either. That was the other thing I was going to show you. Right, we're gonna do the project we're gonna do today second to something else. I just feel like I need to do something else right now because I keep walking through this area and feeling like I need to do something about it, and it's on the way to where we're going. Oh yeah, I can do an entity thing, Cal, to find it, sure. But like that's kind of like do survival first and come back to potentially having a creative solution after. Like funny enough, I used that to find my horse, but I never found it. And the place that Scar had it, I'd even gone over to and looked for it using the command. So, you know, it moves about. It's going to be a bit wacky and awkward to keep up with it and stuff, you know. Probably won't need that much, actually. Kind of thinking I might need some chains. I think chains go into my light sources because they go along with... lanterns. That's the one. Right, so here, I walk through here. I don't like this. I want to change it. This needs to be sorted out. Same thing on the other side. Now, I'm going to experiment. I think that we want something transparent. As soon as I say it, something else pops into my head. Tinted glass would actually be pretty good, or black glass here. But considering the theme, I can't help but feel that this will feel like a decent walkway, right? Maybe we scrape a few bits up to change it. And then possibly put some, like, trapdoors or chains on the side. The chains coming from above will look real good. Actually, I just thought of a couple of other things that I think will look real good. Let's step back here. It's literally what I've done here as well. It's literally what I've done back here because it's that block with chains on it is what I'm thinking about. So we get the chains from here. We get the block from in here, and we don't have it. So let's go make a few. I mean, I could walk. I could just use this classic implementation. Okay. So some of that, and then some of the darker slabs and stairs, right? Here's what I'm thinking. Where's roughly the middle of this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it's going to look a little better closer to the edge. So I'm going to put that thing on either side, like so. Below it, we'll have some stairs. Underneath it, we'll have the orientation. The orientation. Just like that. Come around here. Just like this. Then we're going to... Then we're going to struggle. We need a block. Okay, I'm going to propose something. Here's a cool idea, right? This mechanic, I think, needs to be applied to a pre-existing block. Maybe one that you would carry in your bundle, but like you place it down, and if there's space below, it just extends down, right? Just imagine that. Now, the reason why I say putting that functionality on another block is because you can potentially add more clutter. But you know what? With the bundle, it's like, okay, it sits in the bundle, you fish it out, you use it, you put it back in after you're done. It's not as elegant as it could be, but you go ahead and you place this block here, and it will like drop down a vine type thing below it, and then you could use that to place the next block. I think that would be cool. We don't have that though, so I'm just going to pop down here and collect this, and we'll have to go and do this the slow and boring way. All right, impulse is good. 1, 2, 3, like that. Now we are like one block off of the wood, so we'll go to the other side and get that in place for the future, because we're going to need it there, right? Callie says, oh wait, I get what you mean. Like the scaffolding. Now, the way the scaffolding works currently, I feel like you would sort of be adding... It's hard to imagine that working with that block because it's designed to work differently, right? Maybe it could be that too, and if it could, that would be awesome if it could be both things at the same time. But yeah, like a scaffolding block, like it behaves in a way that can give you some much desired flexibility when building. Rope ladder. It would be like a rope ladder. I think you'd have to do it in a way where it like it's both a rope ladder and a tool for building, right? It can be both things at once. That's smart design, really, is just to give empower the player, but like don't spread out all the features that you want to empower the player with, so they're forever jostling blocks to do it. You just want to make it nice and accessible. Look at these paths that I have to take to get around my base. It's a labyrinth, I tell you. It's a labyrinth. Should have just used an ender pearl. Do I have ender pearls in this thing? I've still got 2. Just got back from food. What's the fella up to? What's the fella up to, says Bear. I don't know what the fella is up to, Bear. Which fella? Which fella are we talking about? This one, that one? I don't know. Some fella. What's some fella up to? Yeah. Some fella. I knew you would read that, says Bear. Oh, did you now, mind reader? Gah, show off. What am I going to do next? Oh, he's going to be sarcastic. Oh, you're so clever, aren't you? Right, let's go like this. I'm going to be honest, I don't think I've ever used scaffolding as scaffolding, but more as a ladder. I really wish I could use it as scaffolding. When we say, like, use it as a ladder, that is very common use of scaffolding. But, like, what is it if it's not a ladder to get up and down? That's how I use it. I mean, because you don't need it to hold up blocks. IRL, scaffolding holds up blocks, right? You don't need it to do that. So, like, what else would it be? Is kind of what I'm getting at. That fella with the voice that interrupts chat, says Becca. Oh my god. That guy. I know you're on about now. The one who has the nerve. Y'all are just here, hanging out in your chat. And I'm just talking over you. Oh, so rude, so rude. Disrespectful. Is Dr. Disrespect that streamer? Is that his name? The guy who turned out to be a complete and utter piece and somehow still managed to keep people on board with him. That's Dr. Disrespect, isn't it? That's the guy's name. Because like all of a sudden Disrespect popped into my head, and then I had like a vague memory of some streamer who was called that. Is that guy still knocking about, still getting away with it? This is the thing. I was thinking about this a little bit earlier. One of the things it feels like we've lost a bit in society is like standards across the board feel like they've fallen a little bit. Standards of behavior and what's tolerable and acceptable and stuff, and that stuff's very hard to like quantify, I guess. But yeah, it just seems like you can kind of get away with a lot these days if you want to be a scammer, if you want to be a shady person. But that's, you know, that's just a perception. Who knows if it's true or not. One of the things about the past is, you know, you have a perception of that. Just because, you know, media in the past was maybe a little more tight-lipped and stuff, doesn't mean that shady stuff didn't go on. You just got like a different perception of it, I guess. Have I got any more iron popping through into these bits? Apparently not. I guess I need a bit more. Quite a bit more. I'm not investing enough. And therefore wasting my time walking back and forth. Standards are falling because the cultures are meshing into each other, not repeatedly pushing together. I would not have gone in the direction of culture meshing together. That's not where my mind goes. I'm not really sure. Like, again, it's like, is it even... How do you measure such an idea, right? Like, that's why I bring up the word perception. It's just to have a perception of that. Today I was watching some videos on YouTube. Good news, right? I like watching good news videos because mainstream news, the stuff that we tend to be attracted to, tends to all be a bit doom and gloom. And there's actually like a lot of amazing stuff going on in the world all the time. And like with climate change and stuff, one of the ones that I learned about today is that they've made a open source, free to use, anyone can go and look at this, system for tracking carbon emissions in real time around the world. And it is, I think it's called Carbon Tracker. So you could potentially go look it up if you're curious. Now, this is actually like kind of incredible. Like, some of the stuff that people are creating to try and deal and work with this problem is amazing. We always get so very fixated on the problem and forget to celebrate some of the little victories as we, you know, work on these things. Now, you can still be a bit doom and gloom and say, well, it doesn't really matter. We're not gonna, it's not really gonna change anything. If that's your attitude, sure. But like, the mainstream news doesn't really tell you about these stories. So it's like a constant bombardment of negativity. Bad thing happens here, bad thing happens there, this thing's gone worse. But like, it's not in isolation. There's lots of good things happening in the world as well. And you have to go and seek that out because it tends to not be, you know, the popular thing to consume or the thing that gathers traction or whatever, right? So I seek those things out and watch some good news videos, you know. But it's like perception again. Like, you're only consuming a small piece of information, and like how much of what's going on in the world is like good and bad. It's hard to like weigh it up and put it all into context. So I keep that in mind as well. Like, it's hard to figure these things out. That's why I like to follow Hank and John Green to hear about the wins, and hope is important. Yeah, those guys are pretty incredible. Very productive people doing amazing things in the world. It finally snowed where I live. I'm excited. I don't think we'd get snow this year. Oh, go and enjoy it, my dude. Go and enjoy it. If you don't get snow much and that brings you some joy, go out there and enjoy it. Absolutely. Good night, Blooming. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for popping by today. Okay, let's let us... Oh, we got light coming through. That's kind of like what I want to work with next. I think I want to throw these in. Actually, you know what? Let's not do the silly thing where you try and make everything even all the time. I mean, I am making a very parallel room here, I'll tell you that. I'm just kind of thinking, like, should it just be solid basalt and then maybe mix it up with some deep slate? These two materials, and then have, like, a light source there. That, I was going to say that probably will be too bright. In fact, it is. It's definitely too bright. I think I might actually be better off just putting glow lichen on top of here. Just try that. Glow lichen here, glow lichen there. It doesn't make a difference because the light behind it is a bit brighter currently. Last time it snowed here was the 90s. Little sprinkles snowed far east of my city years ago. We had a little drop of snow around here like a month or two. Was it November, I think? And like you never get snow in November. Usually we get snow in like April and March. You'll get this like overnight flurry of snow and then it will like melt away in the next day. It never stays cold enough, and it always feels like it's after winter. You just get this random day of snow, which is just like a little bizarre. Hey, Raiders coming in. Joel Duggan again. Thank you, my dude. Appreciate it as always. You know what I'm going to say? One of these days I'll get even. One of these days, maybe. I think the problem is you probably stream when I eat, right? Because I usually stream after I eat. And so it's just like, I'll miss you at either end because of that. You just got an ad for Samsung fridge with AI technology. Why does it need that? I mean, it could be good. It could be good. It's probably not, because we're going through the phase of like they're trying to put AI into anything they can at the moment. I mean, sometimes they're just calling stuff AI when it isn't really. Like the smart fridge tech has been around for a while. Like, and now it gets rebranded as AI. But some of that stuff can be kind of handy. Like, let's just imagine the technology is a little further ahead, right? And every time you put something into your fridge, the cameras and the tech and the tags in the products and stuff, you know, when you buy products, they have these little tags inside of them. They're like self-powered, incredibly tiny little trackers. I forget the name of the technology, but it's why alarms go off when you leave a shop and you haven't paid for something, right? Like it picks up. It's like RFID. That's the one, RFID. So you've got the RFID in the product. Now, in the future, what it might be that happens with your smart fridge is that it just understands everything that's going in and out of it. And then that could enable you to automate some of the, you know, what's in my fridge, what can I cook tonight? Your phone is probably going to be the most likely interface for this. You know, you're out and about, you can't remember what's in the fridge. What do I need to buy? You know, your phone can keep on top of it for you. It knows what's in the fridge. It can recommend things you could cook with it. It could tell you to pick something up if you'd like to make this meal. All of that is a very possible reality with the state of technology, which will continue to improve. But right now, you know, AI is having a bit of an ugly moment, I think, and trying to call everything AI looks a bit funky. Whereas this stuff, you know, smart fridges existed before the current AI craze, I guess, and it's probably just a case of rebranding. Just trying to cash in on the AI hype. It does feel like you constantly hear people though say like, I don't want AI, and they are selling these products. So I'm wondering like if people out there are actually you know, like there's a silent crowd that are just like, oh, AI, let's get that AI fridge, you know? That could be a thing. The concept, again, we were saying about perception and stuff, like what is your perception of the thing? It's almost like, you know, there's a big picture out there and you think you're looking at it, but actually you're looking at a small part of it, is what I think a lot of things can be a lot of the time. So, you know, sometimes you have this like loud minority where most people are just happy to get on with something, and then you got a small crowd of loud people. We're angry about this, we want to change it or whatever. And it might not actually represent what the majority of people want. It's just that sometimes being okay and cool with things means you're not out there shouting about it. Right, this is not a bad transition now, is it? I kind of don't like that you walk past and see the glow lichen. So, I think I know how to hide this better. But then it wouldn't work when you... So, that's the thing. So when you come from this way, it's hidden. But when you come from that way, it's not. It'll probably be better if it's, like, back. At the back. Do I have the iron on me still? I've got the nuggets. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to make it this way. So we use up some of the nuggets. Glow like in there. And now it's probably a little less visible from both directions. But yeah, that's something that's needed to have been done for a while. I don't think that mobs spawn on the copper grate here, so we should be good to leave that alone. I would like for us to have these blocks at the back. That one goes there. I think this is going to work. I like this a lot. I like it a lot. Right, let's pull up Mini HUD. Mini HUD is on. Light levels are on. So when I break this... Yes, okay. Now we know it's working. I think there's an opportunity here to do something with a little bit of asymmetry. Not sure if it's going to look very good though, you know? Do you think a good change to the overall game would be if the new spear was made to be a bit like the trident and be throwable? No, I don't think that would be good because, as you have just sort of pointed out, the trident is throwable. So the trident should be throwable, the spear shouldn't. I think the concept of the sphere is generally really good. It's just when you play with it with other people, it's like you don't hit each other. It feels just really clunky and awkward, and I don't really know like what they're trying to achieve with it. If their experience is the same one that we've had using it, it's like, what is this adding to Minecraft then? Because it kind of feels like an attempt at a spear that needs some serious work. Maybe I'm being like a little overly critical, but it doesn't really feel fully finished yet, you know? Right, let's go ahead and replace all of that with that. I think that I need to nip to the loo. I need to nip to the loo. Wait a minute, let me turn off Mini HUD and let's get the animation rolling. It's time for me to stand for the next part of the stream, I think. Whew. The Pixel, gotta head out. Alright, dude. Go do you. Thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna nip to the toilet quickly, people. Big thank you to T Britain coming in with the 2-month Prime subscription as well. Thank you so much for the support. It won't be long, people. I'll be right back. Right, I'm back. I'm back. Nero says, chat, can we cook a prank on X? Oh, better luck next time, Nero. Better luck next time, mate. You cheeky devil. Right, let's build. Oh yeah, the music today. The music just kind of hit me a little bit. I put on... Normally when I do the music, I just stick to one artist. Today I put on Jalur and Old Sorcery because both of their albums were in my top 10 list. So I did my yearly top 10 and music discoveries on my music blog. And both of these records were on there. And I just kind of noticed some like similarities between the two of them. They're like two artists doing really classy stuff with the sort of dungeon synth sound. And both albums were quite similar in a way, and had they both have like a black metal guitar in the concluding song of the record, which was kind of interesting. Just kind of looking at them side by side, I was like, these records are really similar in a way. The music yearly reviews are so fun, says Captain Blackheart. Glad you enjoy them, my dude. Speaking of music, we still don't have any music info. Oh, let me press a button for you. Hopefully that makes you happy. Let's go put in some blocks. Okay. Pick that up. Put that there. And then we just sort of design this little bit somewhat. No, we need more copper first. I'm really glad we did this, actually. I've walked through this bit too many times recently and felt like I need to update this. And I've had this idea that this copper would probably work in here for a while, and it does. So that's done, although we've still got to do the bit on the other side. So probably going to do the same thing with these blocks again, right? Yeah, pretty much the same dealio, I think. What exactly are we working on today? Great question. We are going to... wait. I don't want to step it up. I want to think a little bit. We're gonna create a moss farm, I think. That's what I'm gonna do. Right, yeah, so do that. I actually want to put 3 more of those in, I think, is the dealio. Then we start to create the transition. Is that the same height as this one over here? If it is or it isn't, I'm gonna have it change a little bit. Right, we're probably gonna need a torch up there now, otherwise stuff will spawn. Got to be super cautious with that stuff. So here we'll go for... You know what, I was gonna do basalt, but I don't actually know what the theme is going to be for the wall in here, so we might want like some sort of different transition. Therefore, I'm just going to keep it deep slate, I think. Keep it deep slate. Then we're going to go 1 lower. And then here we go like 1 higher. That dampens off the light just about enough, I think. Just about enough. And I don't think we need that glow lichen anymore. And some of you will point out that there's a bit of redstone here on the side. I'm not ready to move that contraption yet, so it can stay like this. But that will be, yeah, from one side to the other, right? Not bad. Not bad at all. Nice and clean. Love it. Okay. That's really good. We can now move on to the next bit. One of my favourite parts in the game is the grindy parts, but one of my least favourite parts is the grindy parts, because why is it taking over a day to breed the villagers for my own farm? Why does it need 60 villagers? That sounds like you got an issue with the villagers. Do they have enough space around them to create babies? They need space above the beds. 2 blocks above the bed. Otherwise, they won't create babies. I learned that just the other day. Where are we at here? Like, what's junk, what's not? What goes into a box? So these materials at the top, they're all for building, and that's actually kind of it, I think. We get to pack everything away now. Yo, Smoky Phoenix, thank you ever so much for 15 months. So close to Christmas and your birthday. Is it the same day? Is it the same day? Thank you so much for the support. Watched my guest appearance on Imp and Skiers podcast, and thank you for getting me into Tool and just overall music enjoyment. Awesome. Yeah, music's incredible, right? I'll tell you what. Oh, Enya, just unbelievable, her music. I try to think, like, what was my perception of Enya before I started listening to her music properly this year, because I carry around so much baggage from my youth of like, oh, that band sucks, I'm not into that, you know, I'm a die-hard metalhead and all this kind of stuff, right? I ruled off so much music, and I probably at some point encountered Enya and went, terrible, whatever. But I'm very fortunate to have found her at a point where all of that judgment has gone away, and it's like I'm now keen on learning about an artist, like what makes them tick, like where are they coming from? Like, it's not about me, it's about them. And is it Enrico Flow came up on Spotify, and I was just like, oh, this is great, this is such an awesome song, like I'll put that on my playlist and listen to it from time to time. And it kind of ended there, right? You know, everyone's heard Enrico Flow. It's like in loads of adverts. It's such an incredible song. It's got a bit of like a novel aquatic feel to it, and that's kind of like, that was my takeaway at the time. But like a lot of the other music on our records are very deeply like spiritual and humanist, and a little bit of like fantasy in there as well. What genre is Enya's stuff? Well, that's the thing. If you look it up, people will say like new age. And new age can be very cheesy, and Enya is in no way cheesy. She's also at like the beginning of this sort of like bedroom artist phase, where nowadays the idea of like a bedroom artist is quite common, and well, most of us can like fire up Fruity Loops on a laptop, so very common. But she's sort of there at the beginning, and it's really weird because Dungeon Synth has this strange like parallel to her music with like it being composed on keyboards, and so you hear some of those. Where did you come from? Some of those classic like keyboard, you know, Casio and Korg keyboard tones that you'll hear on like Dungeon Synth records, and it's just really peculiar to hear that similarity, and like it could be quite a vague one, but then Enya has a couple of tracks on some of her records. They're usually like the second or third track on the record that it goes this very kind of dark sounds that if you know the band Emperor, their symphonic side very much explored in the 90s. And it's just really peculiar, the parallels there in the style, because they're in no way like a direct relationship, but they're just sort of, I don't know, maybe things that evolved for similar reasons, but in completely different directions. It's Orinoco Flow, not Enrico. That's just how my brain works, right? My brain doesn't process the word Orinoco. It goes in there, it's a vague memory, and it comes back out as Enrico. Yeah. She's more ethereal, very ethereal. But then, if you go and listen to music that's labelled ethereal, it's a lot further along than she is with that particular sound. Kodishi, thank you so much for 93rd months. Very much appreciate the prime. Approaching 100, my dude. Thank you so much. Xisuma music taste doesn't match Voice Void. Is that right, Snowflake? So how should someone who listens to hip-hop talk? You know, how should someone who listens to metal talk or classical? I don't think we want to go down that road. Enya's music is what I imagine elves would make. Elves are a little too cheesy for that. Her music to me is very serious, very, very real, very raw. Well, not so much raw, just like I don't know. I just do not hear anything cheesy in her music. Metal is easy. You just growl at the time. Hello, my name's Xisuma. Nice to meet you, mate. That was probably the worst I've ever done doing that voice. I need to put more concentration and effort into it, don't I? My name is Xisuma Void. I like heavy metal. What do you like? You know what I mean? Is that how metalheads talk? No. Was that the better voice? It was like attempting to do the Shredder voice, but mixing it with things. Yeah. Anyway, so like I listened to Enya's music over this summer, and oh my god, it is just unreal how emotional her music is. You know, growing up when I was a kid, I made my like top 10s and favorite record lists, and in my mind, I thought I'd figured it all out back then. You know, I thought I knew what all the best stuff was for me. And then as time goes by, you just keep discovering more and more stuff that you really get into, and you don't think anything's gonna crack your like top 10 or whatever. But boy, oh boy, does her music like really get in there. It's so good. So good. Someone who listens to heavy metal specifically should either be really silent or sound like a car in a coffee grinder. Okay, they're quite different. They're quite different. And obviously people who listen to rap need to rhyme when they talk. It's da rules. Yeah. Caribbean Blue is one of your favourites. Yeah, it's a beautiful song. Shepherd Moons, to me, I think is the peak album for me. I feel like that album just hits so many notes that are just fantastic. And the music has like such a like love to it. It just feels like it's like she has a vision and like nothing will compromise it. It is just tapping in to what she's trying to get to. And god, yeah, it really made my summer, those records. Like to me, music gets entangled with memory very strongly. So like I will look back on this period and like remember the records I'm listening to, and it helps me remember like some of the trips and holidays I've been on and stuff, you know, the soundtrack to it. You grew up listening to Enya, and it's such beautiful, nostalgic music for me. Moonish Day, I think I couldn't handle it if it was also nostalgic. I think that'd be too much for me. I think that would like I think that would break me a little bit if it was also tied into like childhood nostalgia. Oh god. Hey, I had this weird idea the other day, right? Do you think in the future there will be nostalgia for nostalgia? Now this sounds really strange, but like nostalgia for someone else's nostalgia, because I think I was thinking about like stuff to stream, and how in the past I've streamed like MS-DOS games like Warcraft and Command and Conquer, and it was really cool to do at the time. It was like a little introduction to you know, your audience, showing off some of the classic games of your childhood and all of that, and the history of gaming. And it's probably not something I'm going to do again. I'm also kind of aware, though, that, like, you know, your audience isn't the same audience over time. People come and go. And so, like, a lot of you watching now probably weren't around for that and didn't see those games, and maybe don't even know about them and might enjoy them. But it's probably not something I'm going to do again. But then I was sort of thinking, like, we get nostalgic about stuff that we watched in the past or did in the past, right? And is someone out there getting nostalgic for someone else's nostalgia when you're showing off like nostalgia games? So like, you didn't play that game when you were a kid, but when I was a kid, I remember watching that streamer play that game they played when I was a kid. Do you know what I mean? Not gonna lie, I missed the Polybridge videos. That's a little different, but yeah, that's a bit of like nostalgia or longing or whatever, right? For some old stuff you really enjoyed. But yeah, like if anyone's like nostalgic about watching some streamer or video, but you never played the game yourself, that's the thing that I'm getting at, right? that kind of amused me greatly. And Clay says, oh yeah, that's the thing for sure. I barely play any of the games I watch videos of. There you go. So you'll have some nostalgia for it and you didn't even play it. Oh, a song that gives you nostalgia is Children by Robert Miles. Me too, me too. 8-year-old age when you heard it first time. I was probably a similar age when I heard it. A lot of those 90s, you know, British radio songs, when you had a lot of, like, the electronic scene was, like, evolving. A lot of that stuff's pretty nostalgic. One of them that would have been really nostalgic, I think, is, like, Fatboy Slim. But it became so ubiquitous. That Right Here, Right Now song does not go away. It just refuses to go away. And I happen to love that song. Like, there are many songs that get ruined by just becoming, like, advert songs that you hear way too often. Like, if you took your favorite song, like, outside of this context, and, you know, someone just repeatedly played it with some gaudy advertisement for something you care very little about, you know, it's gonna end up feeling like it's cheapening the song. I feel like that's just an inevitability. But somehow, despite hearing that song absolutely everywhere, I still love it. Still think it's brilliant. Good old Norm, says Becky, yeah. But that kind of era, that sort of... through the 90s, there was a lot of trash. There was, you know, S Club 7 and the Spice Girls and a lot of, like, cheap, kind of put-together pop music. But in there as well, lots of great stuff. Lots of really cool songs that I still think sound great. Underworld's Born Trippy comes to mind. You know what? I've been chucking them into there. It's because that's locked. This goes into here when that's locked. Yeah, I need to do another sort. It's amazing how quickly you end up needing to do this stuff. I swear. It's absolutely crazy how quickly your inventories fill up. Right. I think I might put some in manually and take these boxes as it goes. It still gets you that Norm was with the House Martins first, worlds apart. I don't know. I don't really know about what he was doing before Fatboy Slim as it goes. Oh, that's gonna fill up and then overflow. This means I'm at. Oh no, not. I was gonna say when it starts to fill up all the way to the top, that's when I have to throw it away. Don't underestimate the ability of an ad to ruin your favorite song. Yep, you said it more eloquently than I did. That's for sure. And that's basically what I'm getting at. It can really, in a strange way, like why would it? But it can. You just hear it in the wrong context too often, you know. Like walking around a shopping center is a good one because it's just a very like commercialized space. There's nothing spiritual or meaningful about it. And then you just start hearing a song over and over again. It just cheapens it. What was the name for the alternative synth experimental music again? I used to like that when it was new. Well, that could be like a lot of things. Like what era are we talking about? Try and narrow it down for me. Maybe I can help. Vaporwave. So I didn't go to Vaporwave. Vaporwave isn't particularly an alternative sound, but Vaporwave is like a lot of sort of 80s synth pop, funk, soul, sort of but down pitched, right, and remixed. David Lynch, Water Music, Nardica. Oh, that I don't think I know what we're referring to now. David Lynch is a music director, isn't he? Sorry, movie director. X, is there a definite top 10 list or something like that for me? Just songs I like all the time and then stuff I can look back on. What, you mean you have a top 10 list of songs? I mean, for me, it's hard for me to keep track. I like so much music so much. It's just a bit overwhelming sometimes to try and formulate it. Annie music? I don't think I've heard of Annie music before. Right, what are we looking at? Yeah, 1, 2. This is actually right up to where I wanted to dig, so we'll go ahead, take that out. Put an extra torch there, maybe. And then we'd start digging down from here as well. Even a top 100 tracks would be hard, says Becky. Yeah, even like a top 1000 would probably wind me up, because I would like fill that up and then there would be songs that couldn't go on there, you know? Be mental. Apparently you're allergic to pizza. Dang, that sucks. Do I listen to shower music? I'm not aware of shower music as a thing. If you mean elevator music, there's some, if you look up, if you're interested in elevator music, look up Muzak. Right, there's this whole rabbit hole of like music that is deliberately written to be consumed in certain different environments and stuff, and there's some like areas and elements of that I'm quite fond of, because I do like ambient music, and that can be quite adjacent to some elevator music. But like, I think people's general perception of elevator music is sort of that like throaty, annoying. You know who did a really great job with it? Is it Jono? With the waiting music for Grian last season. I mean, that kind of just sort of literally like waiting music, like this sort of meaningless jollity. It's a very odd vibe to go for with music, because it's not like, you know, you're not expressing the feelings or the content of your soul. It's not trying to do that in the slightest. You know, it is just like this strangely disposable music to mildly entertain you when you're hanging around, and then it obviously becomes a little bit annoying if you hear it too much. Like, I think that's what most people's perception of elevator music is, right? It's that stuff. But like lounge is a genre that's quite similar, but it's not as cheesy, not as throwaway. Petition to move elevator music to public toilets. Dunno. I don't know. You've never been in an elevator with music? Well, lucky you. To be fair, most of the elevators I've been in, I don't think have had music playing. Have I got more Soulside Eclipse music coming out? Yeah, I've been writing music again, but put it on hold for this season of Hermitcraft. But I'm pretty sure with time I'll get round to doing another record. It's there, it's in me. Also, where I've been learning piano, like I am like not just learning to play. It is ticking over my like noggin for writing music. When I write piano parts and synth parts in the past, it's been kind of, I don't know how to describe really. Like, my methodology for figuring stuff out was very like press the keys and figure it out. Like, but now I've got more of this like structural understanding of the chords and their relations to each other, and different ways of like playing them, and how you can be in a particular like key or chord, and use certain techniques and playing styles to like work with that moment. And I just feel like it's going to really enhance my writing, because when I understand like what chords I'm playing, I'm going to be able to better figure out those melodies on the keys that like fit with them. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think on my next record I'll probably come up with something that's a bit of a wild one when it comes to the keyboards. I'm probably going to like let all of that energy out onto a track, you know? One that just goes a bit above and beyond with the synth stuff. I don't know how to become creative, says Vertils. It's an interesting question. I think, you know, I think maybe some people just don't have it, right? Like, for me, I just have something in me that constantly wants to do something in the capacity of it being productive or like constructive or creative. And creative is probably my favorite one of those. It's just like a desire to spend your time in that space. And if someone says like, they don't have it or they don't know how to be it, it makes me feel like maybe that's, you know, maybe some of us just don't have it. You know? Like, because it's hard to know what to say to that, because it's like innate in me. It's not like I chose it, right? It's just where I go. It's just where I need to be. I think sometimes you have to get used to being bad at something first. There is like, you know, being bad at something is how most of us start out, and you have to accept that before you get good. But like when someone says they don't know how to be creative, that's such a broad sweeping statement that it makes me feel like, you know, because you didn't even say I want to be creative. It's just like I don't know how to. Like, and creativity exists in so many different forms and ways that if you just don't have it, like, I think some people are just like that. I know some people that just don't ever do anything creative at all. And to me it's like, it's almost crazy. But like, hey, maybe that's just me. Like, you know, people are different, right? I think it's primarily to do with the wants. I want to do creative stuff. Some people think it's too hard. Well, like, wants is a very interesting thing to throw into the conversation, because, like, if you say you don't know how to be creative, do you want to be creative? Because if you want to, creativity is just doing, right? Like, if you think, well, if I go do this thing, it'll be bad, that's being creative. You can be creative and be bad. Like, there's no wrong or right to any of it. It's very subjective. It's about you engaging in the sort of remixing of ideas, the bringing something to life through your vision. Creativity isn't just being good at art, it's also finding unique solutions, coming up with jokes, etc., says Hand of Clay. Absolutely. Being a comedian is creative. Problem solving is creative. Engineering, I think, is very creative. Redstone is like that, right? You also don't have to finish projects to be creative. Even planning them out is creative. Yep, that's really well said, actually. You don't have to finish them, and the act of planning is being creative. I have the opposite problem. I'm really good at whatever creative endeavor I choose. Music, knitting, drawing, whatever. It's really annoying because I can't decide what I want to do. Too many options. You know, I'm gonna like let you pass on that one, but that would have been very easy to rip into, the way that was said. I'll let chat use their imagination, but I'll give you a pass on that one. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm good at being creative. Like, my creativity is about scratching the itch. The idea, the thing that I'm pursuing is like a scratch that needs itching, and when I'm happy that it's scratched, that's all I need. I don't care if someone else thinks it's good or it's not. It's about me scratching my own itch. You know what I mean? That's how I weigh it up. Someone else can come along and go, oh, you know, your music's great. Someone else can go along and go, I hate it. That's fine. The only thing that matters to me is that I scratch that itch that I have in my brain when it comes to music, right? Is creativity a skill? I think so, yeah. I think it, you know, it like many things in life, it's not black and white. It's not one thing or another, but it is, I think there is a skill element to it, because you can definitely nurture it and improve on the various aspects that make it what it is, you know? It doesn't have to just remain one thing. Can anyone actually be bad at being creative? I don't think so, because it's all subjective at the end of the day. And what I said a moment ago, I mean, if you have a really strong itch with creativity and you can't satisfy it, no matter what you do, that might actually be being bad at being creative, right? Like, and I can't imagine what that would be like, to have the itch and then not be able to cure it. Like, that sounds mental. That sounds like that sounds like suffering, you know what I mean? But that might be a definition of being bad at being creative. Who knows? There's a message there I'm not going to read. That's called depression. I'm not sure that it is. I mean, to me, it would be depressing. Yeah, but I'm not sure that means it is depression. So chat, since he's busy with others, has everyone thought about their resolutions yet? Opinions on Sleep Tokens music. I like their music. Their record didn't make my top list. I was really impressed with it at the time of listening, but it wasn't one of those records that I found myself going back to. The record I think I went back to the most were Turnstile and Ghost this year. I mean, like, there was quite a bit of criticism towards Ghost on that record that I saw online, and I just didn't care. It just did it for me. I just liked their sound. Like, I'm not going to worry about it, you know? I call some of my family's creativity compulsive, carrying notebooks, pencils, or crochets around in public even. What's wrong with that? I mean, that to me just sounds great. Like, if you know that's what you're about and you're prepared to, like, capture those moments and write them down and stuff, and sounds awesome. I like some of older Ghost stuff, but forgot they existed. Well, they keep putting out records, right? So go give them a listen. They've done some really good records. I mean, I think all of their records have been cracking, to be honest. Their latest thing is kind of like leaning into like 80s synth and ballady stuff with a bit of 70s rock kind of sound in there as well. Like, if you know those decades of music, you'll hear it. You'll hear what I'm talking about. You just got a Parch today. I'm not surprised that is already merch. Because that is the Mojang game. Well, actually, to be fair, that's the Microsoft game. Oh, and I found out today that Microsoft has a chatbot agent, right? This is hilarious, by the way. This is absolutely hilarious. So I asked it a question, like, how would I build a mob farm using redstone? And it told me that I was using inappropriate language. I couldn't believe it. It's terrible. And this, to me, feels like that, you know, Microsoft are absolutely all in on AI, and they are just kind of neglecting anything else right now. I've seen, like, people are really unhappy with the state of Xbox. I don't know too much about that one, actually, but, like, there's other areas, like the Windows OS is being bloated with AI and advertising, and they are really, like, a lot of their existing business model is just no longer the priority. It's the same thing with Nvidia, right? And their graphics cards. They used to be the market for gamers, and now they're making money somewhere else. The gaming market, you know, they just neglect it. And with Microsoft, it just feels like it's just that top-down, do something with Minecraft, get a chatbot going, start using the AI, and it's just like, you end up with this pathetic product that just looks really sad, and for some reason, they're still rocking and rolling with it, you know, they're still going. Almost slipped there, X, is Thorn Dan. What did I almost slip? Off the edge? This? Not far to fall. How I feel about resolutions is that at any point you can decide that you want to be a different person or a better person. It doesn't have to be at the beginning of the year, but the birth of the new year symbolizes a birth of a new person for me. But genuinely, you can change anything you want whenever you deem fit. I agree 100%. If the new year thing gets you going, awesome. But it should, in my mind, like, okay, if what I say doesn't work and the new year's thing gets you going, awesome. But I think it should be, whatever you identify you need a change, go and make it. Why is it that we wait till the beginning of a new year to have a resolution? Like, this is a cultural thing, right? So what are we saying culturally? That we're not going to deal with, like, things that need to change in our lives until this date? It's kind of like a bit of a strange way of doing it, in my opinion. It should be like, you know, why not today? If you know the change is needed, get on with it. Xbox needs to care about their consoles. That's their problem. Would you like to enlighten me a bit more? I've tried not to be pulled too much into it, but I've seen so many like thumbnails on my timeline about like people are upset with Xbox and stuff. People see it like a fresh start, maybe like the start of a diet at the beginning of the week. Yeah, that's another one though that I could pick at. Like diet. I think it's really bad to think of diet as something that you're going on, because really you need to realize that diet is a consistent word. Like if you're on a diet right now and it ends, or there was a time before you're on that diet, diet is the word for what you eat. Like it's like you didn't go on a diet, you already have a diet. And I think the difference is like, the difference between the two is that I think people think you diet to get somewhere, and really you get somewhere by being consistent and it being the normal. You know, I've heard so many stories about like people going on a diet to lose weight, and it means that they expend all this like energy and inspiration and motivation that they have to get to like a destination, let's say. And then a lot of people just rebound from it because you come off the diet and you eat like you did before. And the reason you ended up where you was is because of how you were eating. You know, a temporary diet doesn't fix a problem. I just remembered the project that I need to build needs to be chunk aligned. It needs to fit inside of an entire chunk. So I need to do even more digging now. And I'm going to go 2 blocks all the way around, I think, is the way to do it. We'll go like that, and then across this way. Why does it end on that side, though? Like, oh, it's almost perfect over here. I'll take it. I'll take that win. I like that they cleaned up the chunk border stuff. You know, there's a lot of, like, not so great development in this game. Stuff that doesn't really feel like it's to serve anything other than keeping the hype cycle going. But on Java, you know, the back-end stuff, the tweaks that they get to make, the polish that they're doing, it's been really good. It's been really good for a while. And, yeah, it tends to be, though, in the back-end, right? Like, what about the front end of the game? What about the gameplay? It'd be nice if we got more gameplay tweaks. Although, to be fair, I think if you look over a long enough period of time, they have treated the game to its fair share of tweaks that have been decent. Right, I'm gonna make another 2 of these. I'm gonna try and like not go back to the end or not buy any other shulker shells this season. Like I'm gonna avoid storing materials in shulker boxes. I didn't build a like a shulker box loader for bulk storage. I just decided that if we like fill up these chests, we've probably got enough, right? And that way I'm not going to end up you know, going crazy on farming this stuff or buying it or whatever. Noise in the ear, we got Supernova Tater here for 3 months. You just spent $120 on candy. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, my dude. I'm not a big fan of candy at all. I got sent a couple of boxes of chocolate for like luxury chocolates for Christmas, and I just hate it. I hate the temptation. I will probably have some though, because one of them was a dark chocolate one, and if I'm going to eat chocolate, I'm quite fond of dark. I mean, I usually have black chocolate, which is just pure cocoa, no sugar. Absolutely love that stuff. But yeah, like in the past where my diet had changed and I was eating healthier and all of that good stuff, like Christmas would come around and I would not enjoy knowing that I'm going to like treat and indulge. And then I had a Christmas where like I did eat quite a few sweets and I really struggled to sleep. I just had this like awful belly that was like full of sugar and didn't feel good. And after that Christmas, I found myself being a lot more restrained and like appreciating that as well. So I won't have a lot of treats this Christmas at all, because I will easily have too many because all that stuff's very Moorish, and then I'll probably get an upset tummy when I really want to be sleeping, you know? Is this my last stream of 2025? I don't think it will be, no. I'm hoping to stream tomorrow, and I will be streaming the day after as well. But that's kind of just where I'm at right now. That's about as far as I can tell you. But I don't have any video commitments, right? Like, it's my time now is just playing Hermitcraft, doing a stream if I want, you know? So we should be good. F3G. You sometimes have issues with dark chocolates. You have to be careful. That's unfortunate. Oh, you're immune to sugar because you eat so much of it. That's the real grind. Dude, I would not tell yourself that story. I've never heard of anyone having a physiology that is immune to sugar. If you eat a lot of sugar in your diet, it will become normal to you, right? If you don't eat a lot of sugar in your diet, that will become normal. A lot of the food that we crave is just stuff we're used to eating, because what you eat creates your... This is where I'm going to butcher the terms a little bit, so chat might be able to help me out a little bit here. But you have a micro gut biome. This is like living bacteria in your gut. And that biome of all these different bacteria interacting with each other, they can hormonally influence your cravings for food and stuff. And guess what? You know, if you start eating salads for years on end, your biome will change and you'll start craving salads. If you eat sweets all the time, your biome will change to sweets and you will, you know, want that. Now, sugar has a detrimental effect on your body because it is very strongly linked to aging. What happens is consuming processed sugars, they tend to be the biggest culprit. You know, natural sugars, like you find in fruit, also do this, but they tend to be balanced out by the fact that fruit has a lot of fiber. They spike your blood glucose levels, right? And this has been linked to aging because this activates your metabolism. Your metabolism has to go to work to counteract all the sugar in your blood. And this is what, you know, can lead to things like diabetes and stuff. So if you have the idea in your head that, oh, I'm just immune to sugar, this probably means you've built up a tolerance to the response. As someone who decided to change their diet and became sensitive to sugar, I tell you, like, you can not have a lot of sugar in your diet, and then when you have a lot of sugar, you really know about it. Like, your energy levels go all over the place, you can feel woozy. It's like, it's really quite interesting, the effect it has on your body. So, you know, if you're going to tell yourself that story, and you go around eating tons and tons of sugar, it might not be good for you in the long run. There's a lot of scientific research and evidence around this. It's not, I'm not spouting some nonsense. This is like really quite well known about stuff at this point. So yeah. Chicken says, it sounds so obvious, but not buying sweets when shopping really helped my diet improve, as we'd have to go out to get them if we crave them. It helped me find other healthier alternatives in the house to snack on instead. Yeah, that's a really good point there. That's something that I would also recommend, is like, if you don't buy the thing at the shop, you're making it harder for you to then go and consume it, and you're asserting a little bit more control over, you know, what's available to you. Calvin1253, thank you for 14 months, and Ashami, thank you for the Prime as well. Appreciate it. Thank you ever so much. I laugh about my diet, so I don't cry about it. I've learned so many times how unhealthy I live, says Pinjamin. Well, what about making a change? If you're aware that you're living unhealthily, you know, that's going to have consequences in the long run, right? And you have the power now to make changes and to go in a different direction. The common thing that I think, I think that people, like, if you know you need to make a change, you should seek out advice, and you should actively engage with this idea of, like, I need to make a change. Now, that's not to put like a big burden on yourself and put goals in front of you that you're worried about not meeting. It's just like, take an active engagement in it and seek out advice and ideas, because I don't think everyone's advice works. Like, there's no universal advice, right? So I can offer you up some ideas, but like, if that doesn't work for you, don't think the situation can't be changed. You know, go seek out some different ideas. Oh, I never went all the way over there. The idea that I often talk about is to not try and suddenly change everything. Like, don't try and live as the person that you want to one day be tomorrow. It's like gradually build your way towards things. So if you know you've got an unhealthy diet, let's just start with something simple where we can start to tilt the speedometer in a different direction. And I like the speedometer analogy, because you can imagine a speedometer, right? And if it's left, it's green, it means you're eating healthy, maybe losing weight if that's your goal. If it's in the middle, you're sustaining, and if it's on the right hand side, you're eating unhealthily, you're gaining weight or whatever. And I would say, like, you don't want to swing. You don't want to be like, oh, I'm in the red, I need to swing to green. That tends to be, I think, what people struggle with, because it's very difficult to just switch up like that. If that works for you and you can do that, if you've got the willpower and you're going to commit to doing it, that's fantastic. Like, if it works for you, awesome. But if it doesn't, I think you want to look at moving the speedometer slowly and doing it in a way where the things that you're changing to slowly over time, pushing in the other direction, they're habits. They're things that you can routinely do over and over again. Like, you know, skipping that snack that you usually have before you go to bed at the end of the day. Having 1 or 2 less candy bars a week, making sure you go for a 5-minute walk in the morning every day, things like that can just be small, quick, simple, but can like add up. Because if you're someone who goes for a 10-minute walk, let's say every day, you know, in a couple of months from now, you'll be ready to go for a 15-minute walk, 20-minute walk, and this can add up to the point where that speedometer goes to the middle. You know, now you're just sustaining, you're living all right, and then if you're like, okay, that's good, I can do that, but maybe I want to lose some weight, maybe I want to go a bit further, you can get it into the green, you know? But it's about being able to sustain it. That's the most important thing. And that's why I don't like when people talk about, you know, going on a diet, because it shouldn't be about doing something temporary. Diet is permanent. It is consistent. It is like, how do you eat? And so you want to improve it in a way where it's not about, oh, I'm on a diet now and then I'll go back to just eating how I did in the past. No, you need to make a change that is permanent and sustainable, you know, that can be carried with you into the future. You have no desire to change your activity or horrible diet because you're naturally skinny, so you don't feel the need. Being skinny isn't an indicator of health, though, is it? Right? Like, weight's an interesting one. Like, when you go to extremes with weight, this is usually a pretty fair indicator that, you know, something's wrong, you need to change. But if you're gonna say, like, I eat terribly but I stay skinny, that doesn't mean that your body is like in a fit and functional state, right? So I would not use that line of reasoning. Like, being skinny is not the way to judge like your overall health or whatever. This is why I get like I get a little bit weirded out with some of the comments that people put on my guitar videos. On one hand, I like that people can see that I take care of my body, I look after myself. That's great. But then there's also like a range where it feels like people think that, you know, being muscly and lean is like just naturally healthy. You can get lean and be muscly and be unhealthy. It is possible to go in that direction, right? Because some people can do it, you know, eating junk food and not doing any cardio, etc., etc. Yo, Wells, thank you for the raid. Welcome on in, Raiders. We're having a little chat over here about health and lifestyle and stuff, while we dig out a big hole and fill it with slabs, I think is the next step. Kat says, that's why I have trouble maintaining the healthy lifestyle is all. I'm not saying I'm healthy by any means. Well, if you're not deluding yourself, that's good, first of all. You know, if you're going to be real and honest about it, then that's cool. But I would say, you know, maybe don't aim for a healthy lifestyle. Just aim for something that's not quite as bad as where you're at, you know, and get that incremental change in the correct direction. That would be, you know. But then again, we're total strangers chatting over the internet. Like, I might have the complete wrong idea. Who knows? But to me, it's like, I think we have a terrible diet. Terrible diet. With all this cheap junk food that's all full of carbs and stuff. Like, it's very easy in this day and age to not be particularly healthy. Wells says, I'm the pinnacle of health, very disciplined. Yesterday I limited myself to only 1 cheesecake instead of 2. Yeah. An entire cheesecake. You didn't say slices. By the way, I don't know if you know, Wells, I am like a non-dessert person pretty much. Like I don't ever have I have homemade ice cream, which is basically milk and protein powder. I did not say slices. Yes, that's what I said. Yeah, the whole cheesecake. The whole cheesecake. Yeah, but like I like routinely go for like Sunday lunch or go out for a meal and just don't have dessert. I've programmed my own brain to not want it. I just don't eat it or any of it anymore, which is honestly like extreme and probably a bit silly. But that's just the way I do it. Ninja Creamy is the best invention ever, says McKelly. I agree. It is such a game changer. I liked those Halo tops, right? That like you could just sit there and have a whole tub. To be fair, though, since I started doing my homemade ice cream, if I have a whole tub of Halo top, I feel it in my stomach in a way that's like a little icky. And I think that speaks to all the artificial sweeteners and stuff that they put in that product. When I make my homemade stuff, like I've got the sweeteners and the additives from the protein powder in there, but then it's just mostly milk is the other thing, right? And if I do it with fruit, it's fruit and milk and protein powder. Ice cream recipe when? It's so simple. I'm literally telling you it right now. It's just protein powder and milk, right? There is a few other things though. Like I say few, it's just Xanax gum. If you look up Xanax gum, there's definitely a little bit of like umming and ahhing around its role as a food ingredient. I've seen some critiques of it or whatever, but my overall thing was like, I'm not loading this stuff with it. I'm putting in like a tiny half a teaspoon in, and it just helps thicken up the texture a little bit, right? Xanthan gum. I don't know what I just said, but xanthan gum is the one. Someone has written it in chat. Thank you for doing that. That stuff. Did I say Xanax gum? You see, look, that's just my brain. Some sort of like word that's close to it. Yeah, it's not Xanax gum, it's xanthan gum. Thank you for correcting me. That's the stuff, right? This will just thicken up the texture of the whole thing a little bit. They use it in McDonald's milkshakes. And you can have... it's Enrico Flow again. This is how my brain works, people. Enrico Flow, yeah. What's that musician's name? Enrique Glacio or something? See, that's my brain just, again, reaching for a word. Inglesias or something? And he's got a mole on his face. I know that because of both Selector. Iglesias, maybe? Enrique Engels? I don't know. Yeah, I think Hart knows who I mean. I think he got the name there. I just don't know how to say it. Anyway, homemade ice cream, right? Like it has some sweeteners, but I know how much, and I'm putting in just regular milk with it, and that stuff is even lighter on your belly than Halo Top is. But I can sit there and eat a whole tub, as I did today. I had some peanut butter cup the day before. No, I tend to have them every other day. So I have like 3 tubs of ice cream a week. That's like my equivalent of pudding, and it's homemade. So it's mostly milk and protein powder. So I'm just not too bothered about it. You need to find a type of protein that doesn't upset your stomach. I hope you mean protein powder, because if you can't have protein, you'll probably die. So I'm assuming we're talking protein powder. Yeah, was it Jem who said she didn't like them? I never really thought about that. I got my hands on protein powder and never had an issue with it. And it's tasty to me, and it doesn't give me any issues, and so like I never thought about it twice. But yeah, like it might not be to your liking. They are kind of like fake flavors. I'm very tolerant of that stuff. I'm very tolerant of artificial sweeteners and artificial flavoring. Because I'm just not that fussed about things having to be that authentic, I guess. I'm not that fussy with it. Casein whey is pretty good for ice cream. That's what I use with my vanilla flavor. My vanilla is casein. You recently started to learn how to make homemade nacho cheese. Mmm. I mean, like, if you asked me to make some homemade nacho cheese, I would honestly think, get a particular type of cheese from the shop and melt it, right? Is there more that goes into it, like seasoning or something? I think I just used all of this up. This is the bit that I hate, because now I have to scrape every single block and not miss one. And this is my life now. This is why I'm going to pre-scrape everything from this point on. Before we place them, we've got to pre-scrape them. There's literally 5 ingredients: cheese, meat, flour, butter, and jalapeno juice. Oh! Sounds nice. Oh, dang it. I thought I missed it, and I hadn't. We'll let it age. We'll just let it age back if it does that. It won't take long. Real milk and cream is great. Protein powder has additives. Yeah, it has additives. Like, if you look into the efficacy of these things, sweeteners, and whatnot, like, there is research on it. And studies have been conducted over long periods of time. And if you read up on this stuff, like, it's, I don't know, I feel like some stuff gets painted a little boogeyman, like, you know, if it's got artificial sweeteners in it or additives, it's bad. It's like, some of this stuff is, like, bad for you if you consume unreal quantities of it continuously every day. Like, but that's true of a lot of stuff. I think some of it gets a bit kind of demonized, you know? They're not the worst thing, according to the research. Like, it's like what captures your attention. Sometimes you can get, like, fixated on something like that, and then you go have a McDonald's. You know what I mean? Like, processed food. The more processed the foods, generally, rule of thumb, it's, you know, going towards the unhealthy end of the spectrum. So, like, you know, whey, casein, not terribly processed. They are side effects of processing milk and cheese and butter and all of that stuff. They create this waste product, and I think it's like the curd of the milk or something, and it turns into whey and casein. So, you know, it goes through a form of processing, but it's not as crazy as some other stuff. Like the fake meats are, like, hyper processed and full of, like, really bad stuff, like tons of rapeseed oil and all sorts of things that they do to get it to taste like meat. So, like, you need to, like, get into the weeds a little bit more with the details of the food. Alright, there we go. That's all of that done. Why scrape the copper? So that it can oxidize other copper, which is, it's kind of silly for this area. I'm just going to do it for the whole thing, because I'm actually going to build a farm here, and we probably won't even use this space for aging, but whatever. I'm just being silly like that, you know? I'm just being silly like that. Well, the normal meat is not much less chemical, says Ashami. The thing that fake meat and meat have in common is that they're pure chemical, right? Chemical is everything. Everything is chemistry. So, like, it's one of those, like, what are we trying to say? Because, you know, some people say, oh, it's all about all these chemicals they add into foods. You know, you should just eat fruit and natural foods. And it's like, guess what? Guess what a chemical is? It's 100%. Sorry, guess what an apple is? It's 100% chemical, right? Like, we need to get better at the language around it, I think. Well, says, I know way too many people who obsess about a healthy diet, then don't exercise at all, or spend most of their time at the bar/pub. Yep, that's another component of it. Yeah, you're right. Like getting hyperfixated and not having the whole picture. Oh yeah, I wonder if there's any part of what I do that I've got the wrong way around, because wait, that's not chunk aligned correctly. Ah! What was I trying to press? There we go. Oh, so actually it needs to be a bit more here, is what the issue is. Because I'm sure I get some stuff wrong with the way I do things, but, like, I do a lot of exercise, and I like it, and I try and eat healthy and clean. There's probably some area I'm not getting right. Wait a minute. I think I'm losing track of what I'm doing here. It's all the waffling. Yeah, so that bit's aligned that way. Oh, so it's actually the opposite here. It's like I put too much down. Yeah, okay. Can work with that. Smoky Phoenix says, I grew up with us having cows, pigs, chickens, etc. You can tell the difference between the store-bought, so we hardly ever buy store meats. Yeah, I can imagine that. I can imagine that factory farming, right? Did you know everyone who's drunk dihydrogen monoxide has died? I'm guessing whatever that is not good for you then. It sounds like you might have been going for one of those trick questions though, where someone's like, "Would you eat, you know, ditryl timexamine or something?" And it just sounds like some crazy lab chemical, and it turns out it's like, you know, the thing that makes an apple. Dihydrogen monoxide is water. Yeah, there you go. I thought it might have been one of those tricky ones. H2O. Preying on my ignorance, are ya? How dare you? Yo, little Broccodes, thank you ever so much for the Prime subscription, my dude. Appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the stream, having a good time. I have to now focus and concentrate and not miss a single block. Because them the rules. My exercise is walking the dog for hours a day and running with him and not. Some people think it doesn't count because I don't weightlift. What is your take? I think that's perfectly fine. That's decent. Getting outside, fresh air, interacting with a dog, you know, psychological, social benefits to that. Sounds really good. As for not lifting weights, I don't think you have to lift weights. I do think like the average person, and I literally mean like most people, would really benefit from a small amount of weightlifting. Like, what it does for your body's immune system and like quite a few different aspects. It seems like, you know, you're stimulating your metabolism to repair your body, and like it gets that whole system in strength. And there's so many like good benefits that come along with that. But when we talk about weightlifting, it tends to be this like, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, big muscles, rah, kind of thing. And it's like, you don't need to do that. You really don't. You can do light weights, a few sets of different, you know, stimulate different muscle groups, and you will get some really good health benefits from it. Not only that, it makes you stronger, which makes you more resilient to injury and whatnot. And as you get older in life, you lose a lot of muscle mass, and that can lead to health complications and you becoming weaker, more likely to have a fall that hurts you more or something, you know, your mobility goes down. Staying on top of your mobility and strength as you get older, I think, is very beneficial for basically everyone. And you don't have to do crazy stuff, going to the gym, lifting big weights. It's, you know, you don't really need a lot to stimulate the benefits that you can get from doing just simple weightlifting exercises, you know. You can literally do a couple of sets of squats, push-ups, and walk for general population. Yeah, learning to do some squats, push-ups are good. If you've got a bar that you can hang from, do pull-ups on. Like, pull-ups, to be fair, are pretty, like, you need quite a bit of strength to do those body weight. But there's just a lot of ways to like stimulate your the muscles in your body, and that stimulates your metabolism and your immune system and all sorts. Gets them in good shape. You need to get back into your morning Tai Chi. Go for it. Tai Chi's great, yeah. You know, yoga, stretching, moving the body around, all that stuff's great. It's being like, what's the word for it? Not moving around a lot, you know. Stationary is one word, but there's like a lifestyle word for it. It's not great. Your weightlifting is hay bales as you have horses. All right, sweet. Sedentary, chat, you've got it. You've nailed it, well done. That is the word I was looking for, sedentary. yeah, sedentary lifestyle is basically the thing to avoid. You know, get up, move around, get your heartbeat up, move your limbs, you know, use the body or lose it, that kind of thing, right? Especially as you age and get old, you get weaker. That's why, you know, the strength thing is good for getting old. You know, if you're young, you may have not experienced this. If you're older, you'll know a lot of people, when they get old, relatives and stuff and friends, like the stories always are, they have a fall, they have a knock, like, and a lot of that stuff can be prevented with better mobility and better strength, which you can sustain as you get older. But you have to put the work in for that, obviously. You also need to look at things that are physically far away from you for your eye health. Yeah, that might be handy. Sure. Do you think there is anything inherently wrong about not trying to be unhealthy? I think we live in an environment, right, that is not our evolutionary environment, and our evolutionary environment would have had us hunting and foraging for food and moving around a lot, and that's why our bodies, you know, are better off in that. Now, I think the big gap is that our modern world, the comforts that it offers us, it takes us away from this lifestyle. You don't, if you wanted to, you can go through life without basically ever lifting a finger. You know, you can live a very lethargic lifestyle if you chose to, right? You could probably find an office job where you're at a computer most of the time. You can drive to work. You can not take the stairs and get in the lift. You could go in a different direction. You could do as little movement as you liked. You could eat a lot more food than you needed to. And what's the outcome of that? You know, you're probably not going to feel great, and you're probably going to have a shorter life. So if you're not living like a healthy lifestyle and stuff, you're normalized to it. It's your normal. It's your default. It's hard to know the difference. It's hard for me to know the difference. Like I live a very active, healthy lifestyle now, and generally I probably don't feel too much different from how I did when I was younger and lived a unhealthy lifestyle. But I definitely, you know, over time have like experienced how much better it feels to get in shape. Like I've gone through that transition. So I do know there's a difference, but it's like how healthy I am now to like if I do, I don't know, half as much working out, and how I'll feel in a year or so. Like that stuff's so fuzzy and relative. It's hard to know until you do it, until you like go through that process and come out the other side. So yeah, you don't have a feeling of being unhealthy. You don't have a feeling of a lack of exercise until you've gone and been on the other side of that equation, essentially. Karma Crumb says it's all about your mental health. That's the other aspect. It really does help with mental health for me. Might not be true of everyone, but boy, has it helped me through some things, you know. In fact, right, this winter for me has probably been the best winter I've had in a long time. I'm pretty sure I have some sort of vitamin D deficiency at this time of year, and it started with me drinking some vitamin D tablet drinks that I have and going, I feel so much like perkier and brighter this winter. And then I decided to lean in and get some strong tablets, and I have not had any dips apart from what I'm about to say. But anyway, most winters I go through, I get really moody and I have to work on it hard. One of the ways that I do that is working out, running, lifting weights. You do that, your body pumps all of those endorphins into you, you start to feel better, right? This winter I had 2 days in a row, back to back, where in the morning I definitely felt my mood come down. I felt a bit gloomy, and it was nowhere near as bad as it's been in the past. And once I had done my workout or a run or whatever it is that day, the mood came straight back up, and I'm straight in where I love to be, thinking about all the creative stuff that I want to do, enjoying music, playing Hermitcraft, you know. And I've done this for so long now, I just know it. Exercise can really help with your moods. But if you don't exercise on a regular basis and you think, right, I'm going to go out have a run or whatever, you'll probably find you're not going to feel that connection until you are further down the road and you are in a routine of exercising. When your body becomes more acclimatized to it, you know, you don't deal with the suck after the exercise as much. Like, I can exercise pretty hard. I can go for a long run. I can do a heavy session of lifting weights. But after, the rest of the day, I'm energetic. I'm fine. And when you start out on that road, it can take the wind out of your sails after doing exercise. So it takes a while down the road to really understand how it can make you feel better. Akini 1990, thank you for the prime. And is Danny 03, thank you for 37 months. Heyo, hope you're doing well today. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking, my dude. You got your first treadmill. Awesome. I use my treadmill every day, pretty much. Unless it's the summer. In the summer, I'll go walking outside, so I might not use it as much. But in the winter, I get on there every day. Right, this is where we're going to build the moss farm, my friends. But we ain't going to do it today. Not today. You got a stationary bike. I had one in the past. And I never quite got into the stationary bike thing. It didn't quite work for me. I kind of in the back of my mind would like to try it again, but I just don't like having like stuff and buying stuff all the time and having clutter. So I'm probably not really going to give that one a try again. But yeah, I mean any form of exercise like that is great. I think what we'll do next is take a little trip to the end to repair our tools. And then drop these off. Sounds about right. Smarty says you're still streaming. Yay, welcome back, my dude. Welcome back. You're saving up for a rowing machine. Cool, cool. Yeah, one thing I will say, just food for thought, because I don't know... Because some of you are telling me about things you're saving up for, you want to get this thing or that thing. There is a bit of a trap with exercise. And it is this, and being healthy in general, is that I've noticed this with people, is that they think, I'll buy this thing and get healthy. And if you're doing this sort of thing, you have to think about it, think it through, where there's like a psychology of like, I'm using money to get healthy and in shape. Be wary of that, because ultimately you have to do the exercise. And I think some people fall into this idea of like buying exercise equipment means they're then going to go use it and get in shape. And I don't know if that's you. It's just food for thought, because I've observed that in people. Because there's a lot of ways to exercise that do not require any equipment. And if you feel like you have to have equipment, either you know what you're doing and you're on the right track and I know all about exercising, I definitely need this bit of kit, I'm going to use it and stuff, like great. But like some people fall into this trap of thinking they're like buying their way into a better lifestyle, you know? And the reality is you have to go do the heavy lifting. You have to go do the run. Can't just look at stuff in a catalog and think like, hey, that's going to solve my problems. You know what I mean? Anyway, like I said, just food for thought. What, I can't just look at the equipment and get muscles? Yeah, that's not how it works. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? You've been using your weights a lot more after buying them than before, says Free Privilege in a coat. Yeah, like I said, food for thought. I don't know y'all individually. It's just something I've observed in people. The idea of like buying equipment is solving the problem. They buy it, they never use it, it goes in the cupboard, that kind of thing. And it's good to think that through, because you might think about it and go, I think that might be what I'm doing here, right? And then you might say to yourself, well, before I buy this thing, why don't I go for a long walk or a jog outside, or like start to really see if this is what I'm trying to do, right? Because otherwise you might just buy the equipment, can't be bothered, put it in a cupboard, and you've wasted some money, you know? Right, I guess I've almost cleared that out, but I've got some empty shulker boxes here. Let's head to the end. There's a good reason there are so many 3 treadmills, stair machines, and so on places like Facebook Marketplace. Ah, this is a good place to look for equipment. Yeah, find the people that are selling it that brought it and realised they can't be bothered. Yeah, interesting. Buying equipment is great after you've used it a lot in the gym or something where you know it's better to just have it at home. Yeah. I do this thing mentally when I buy a bit of equipment where it's like, I take the price of it, and when I go on and use it, I've done this with my treadmill. Like, my treadmill, I think, costs like £500 or something. And that is a lot. That is a lot of broken... What? How did so much get broken? That is a lot. Isn't the way of doing this incredibly grindy? That is a lot of broken bedrock right there. Impulse and Tango. Do they have like a new method, or did they just like absolutely put in time and grind it? There's a new method. Oh, wow. Okay, that sounds cool. That sounds cool. So with my treadmill, it was like the first time I used it, like that run or that walk or whatever it was, that cost me £500. The second time, £250. The third time, you know, less. And like I do that a little bit in the beginning, and then I wasn't doing it every day. It's just a fun little thought. And then like a year would go by, and I've used it every day, and now I'm like, well, now I get on here, it costs me about like £1.25 each time, right? Now that 10 years have gone by, not quite, probably more like 8, you know, now it's like I get on it probably costs me about 10p each time I use it or something, right? And I like that because, it just kind of tells you the value you're getting out of it. Heart Gamer says, heck, you could easily just fill up old bottles with water or sugar and use them as weights. Yep. I remember when I lived at home with my parents and I wanted to get weights, and my dad was saying like you could use some baked bean cans, and I was like, oh, stupid, that's dumb, I'm not listening to you, shut up, Dad. It's probably my attitude at the time. I wish I was never born. Wow, younger Xisuma had some lip. I was an absolute awful teenager. If you've ever seen Kevin and Perry, I was literally like that. I was just moody all the time. And angry and annoyed. I'd say with pretty good reason though. But that's a story for another day. Yeah, so so when I got my first set of weights and stuff, I brought it with my own money, and I've been using it ever since. I didn't think like this at the time, but I just, stumbled into the whole weightlifting thing. Kind of got there a little bit. You know how like gym content is really big on YouTube these days? That guy is angry at me. And loose. Like, I was sort of there at the beginning of that, but I'd already started lifting before. I got into lifting, and then I kind of looked up stuff on YouTube. I can't really remember the channels I used to watch, but like there were some like early pioneers of that type of content. And I started watching them. I've been watching like the gym content on YouTube for a long time, but a lot of it is a bit, I don't know. So like the best advice and stuff you can get around this stuff is like way more level-headed than a lot of the content is. I use the school bag as an extra weight for pull-ups and push-ups. That's the way to do it, Robert. I used to do weighted pull-ups, right? And I've had injuries that I've had to work with. I used to be able to do like 12 weighted pull-ups with like a 10 or 15 kilograms extra. And I probably weighed more then as well. I lost so much strength getting injured and not being able to like do pull-ups the same way for like probably over a year. I can do like 7 bodyweight ones at the moment. But I'm taking it super like chill. Like I'm not trying to push up weight every week. I'm just like doing long and sustainable. Like in a month maybe I'll be up to 8. In another month maybe I'll do 9, but like I'm not gonna power back into doing heavy stuff. Have I done weighted runs? Thought about it, but haven't gone. I think with the history I've had with my knees, I don't want to risk that. That's an interesting concept, Heart Gamer. I don't think I'll do weighted runs. I'm just a little too concerned about, running's quite sensitive to me because I wasn't able to do it for a couple of years and had some big issues. And now that I'm over it, I just wouldn't want to jeopardize that. Yoga by Adrian is your go-to. Yeah, her videos have been fantastic. When I got into yoga, Or like years ago, probably like 15 years ago, her stuff on YouTube was terrific. And then she does the thing every January. I tend to follow along with that. What about weighted swimming? I mean, it's probably a thing you can do, right? You do rock climbing and use a plank to screw a fingerboard to your door frame. I think I get what you mean. Like, you've got a plank across your door frame and it's a fingerboard for, like, gripping. There's that thing in rock climbing where there's, like, a really common injury you get in your hand due to, like, grip. And, like, if you think about it, like, a lot of the weight of your body can end up going through the grip in your hand. It's kind of wild. Kind of wild. I took that out and left it in my base. I was like, where is that? Oh, I remember. It's not too big a deal. Not doing sports, you'll injure yourself. Do sports, you'll injure yourself. Says Hand of Clay. I know you're trying to be funny, but, like, it's not black and white, is it? It's on a scale. It's like, don't do any exercise. That's not good for you. If you spent the entire day doing exercise, that would be really bad for you if you just consistently tried to do exercise. You know? It's about finding the right amount, the balance. Why did I slow down in the middle of that? I have to do it. I have to do it. Why is there an ender pearl here again? Who will it be? Are they online? They have to be online, otherwise it wouldn't be loaded. It's Scar again! Scar, what's going on? What's going on? No way. Hey, wait, you can't hear me. What is going on, man? That's twice now. That's twice. I just sussed out. Wait. He can't hear me, can he? Well, Scar will come back and just be here. Because, yeah, anyway, as I was saying, chat, like, because the pearl is there, it means it's a player that's online. If the player logs out, I'm pretty sure the pearl goes out as well. I feel like now we can prank him big time. Because he's, like, not there. He was AFK. So he can come back and be somewhere totally different now. Now, if I break some of these blocks, they're going to go into Scar's inventory and we're not going to get them back. So what I need is a water bucket, right? Whoops, wrong block. Oh, Cub, get over here if you can hear the sound of my voice. Cub, head to the sound of my voice. Shenanigans are afoot. Wait, did he just go? Right, so if I put the water... whoa, wait. If it goes down there, it might ruin a bunch of carpet. Actually, it's going to go to water. You know what? He's holding shift and placing blocks somewhere. That's what he's doing. Yeah, there's water at the bottom, so it wouldn't break anything. Okay. You found Joe. Thank you for the prime. Appreciate it. Oh, this is great. We're gonna put him at the end farm, and then he'll come back, and it's like, oh, you were farming Enderman, were you, Scar? That being said, I think I need to push him in so that he's like really over to that side before he goes down, because we need to be able to push him back out again. Okay, this is good stuff. This is good stuff. So down goes Scar. Whew. And then we need to go down there and push him out. So I need to go backwards. Oh, we done it. Nice. And then we can't use... Right, I do not want to place this bucket now, do I? Like, if there's one thing I don't want to do, it's place a bucket. Don't push him in the void. He won't get pushed into the void, don't worry. I just feel like pushing him to the end farm would be kind of funny. He comes back and he's just like at the Enderman farm. We could put a little sign there or something. Now, here's where I could probably... When you hold shift, you don't get, like, as much as this. So you just got to create a rhythm, I think, now. Fishing rod. I never used fishing rods. I'm going to do this. There's probably, like, a really good rhythm here. Oh, I've got him, like, 6 blocks so far. I've done it again, yeah. Whoops. Yeah, let's try the fishing rod, actually. Might be a lot faster. Best, does anyone else see this going badly? How would it go bad? Like, I'm going to pull him over this direction. I'm not going to push him into the void. A boat won't pick up a player, so we can't do that. Actually, do you know where that belongs? In there. And then we go over here and swap that around. So back in goes the water bucket, and then the fishing rod. Wait, Cubs found him. I wasn't sure what I was seeing then. I wasn't sure. Hey,
Nope.
Cub! Look who I found.
Found an AFK Scar.
Yeah, well, there was an ender pearl up the top again. You were actually here last time this happened, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
Oh, does this not pull the player? I thought it did. Does it
I think
pull?
it does.
Does it pull a boat if you get the player in the boat? Oh wait, there you go.
Oh, there you go.
That is not good
that
enough.
works.
Nah, I'm gonna push him.
You can push him like this, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you both got matching capes. So
Yeah, I got the zombie horse one. Did you get yours, Xisuma?
I did actually. I was really surprised because
Nice.
I didn't get the last one.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not
Where are we
bad.
pushing him to? Just pushing him to the Enderman farm?
Yeah, so when he got teleported, because his ender pearl was in the soul sand again, right? I had that realization that if you see the ender pearl, it means the player is online.
Mm-hmm.
So let's find out who it is. It's Scar. He's clearly AFK. So I figured let's do something, and easiest thing is probably just to bring him to the Enderman farm. When he comes back from being AFK, he's just farming Enderman. It's pretty funny. We can't rotate him, right?
I don't think so.
Do you know, I'm gonna grab a boat. It might be quicker. So chat seems to think that we can do this with a boat. There it is. I do have one. Okay, chat. Sorry, I should have known. Chat is wrong. They're saying. Chat is wrong. Yeah, you can't put him in a boat.
Yeah, I didn't think he could. Yeah, sadly.
Well, you got the rhythm about there. It looks like you're dancing. Looks like you're having a slow dance, you know.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to today, Cub? Are you streaming or anything?
No.
No. Just placing blocks?
Place some blocks.
Are you just gonna like fill in this massive area with a flat surface?
Yeah. Yeah.
What happens after that?
That's pretty much it.
Just gonna fill it in and make it flat. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Oh, chat is saying I should push with the boat.
Oh, maybe. Could help.
I'll grab it. I'll grab it. This is going to be a very mischievous end to the stream, I think. Here's something to read X. The pull strength scales with the distance between
Let's
you
see.
two. Interesting.
See if it works. Yeah.
So, like, apparently... Oh, I'm going to end up in the... I can see this going wrong. It's going to take me under the carpet. That
seems to work, though.
That feels like it might be slower, but it's just the fact that you can just hold down forward probably makes it a little more appeasing.
Yeah. Yeah.
By the way, Cub, I did some research yesterday and today. I think I'm going to be
Yeah.
able to build a coral nautilus farm and possibly a dual one for like both.
Oh, nice.
And you and I are going to team up and do some nautilus stuff in the new year, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So I imagine that would be good news. However, it might end up with us having to transport like a lot of them a long distance.
Yeah.
Because the farm's going to be
have
thousands of blocks away.
There's already quite a few. I mean, I don't know if we need those specific types. You know, like those are really specific types, but
I kind of want to do it for the novelty of it, just building a farm and then be like, we can have as many of these as we want now.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you could.
They might make a good shop as well.
Yeah, there's already quite a lot on the server, though, it seems. They're not exactly, like, uncommon, I don't think.
Do you mean the coral ones or the zombie ones?
Any of them, really.
Really?
I think they're all pretty common.
How many corals have you seen?
I haven't gone looking in the coral reef, but I know Pearl has one already, and so it can't be that
Oh.
uncommon.
Dang, okay.
At least I don't think so. I think
I'm
they're
still
like
going to
if
build
you're
a
in the area,
farm.
I think it's
You can't
yeah,
convince me otherwise.
yeah. I
I
think
just
it's still
really
a
want
good
to do
idea.
it, you know?
Yeah,
Plus, if I build a farm, we can get their heads, right? And they will make
yeah,
really cool heads.
yeah. That's cool. Yeah, little shell type things. Are you
Poor
gonna
old
put him in the
Scar.
Enderman farm, like inside the Enderman?
Nah, that's because he might look at it and die, and then it's like, whoopsie.
Okay.
He might need a bit of a nudge out of the enchanting area, I think. Oh, that's
Yeah,
the way. That's the way. Okay.
stand here.
Oh no, he's going
Try and
in.
nudge him. Oh, he's in there. He's in there.
Oh wait, is it the boat that pushed him across? Oh, that's smart. Let me grab that. I'll get that out of the way.
Grab that.
Oh, do you know
The
what?
old
Scar's gonna
toolbox.
get it. Wait a minute. Gotta push him like this now. That's it. That's doable. Oh, look at that. He goes up.
Yep.
Shall we leave a sign that says, like, nice enchanting or something like that?
Yeah, we could. Yeah.
I think we should. So I don't have any signs in here though. But I do have wood.
Push him a little closer.
Can you tell me when you're done with the enchanting station or something like that? So it almost looks genuine, like it's not a haha you've been pranked.
Yeah,
it's like
that's
a
good.
Scar, you know, you've been here a long time.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Ah, we need a block.
You can put it on here, maybe on this block.
Oh yeah, I kind of want to make sure he sees it though, like, so like if he leaves the area.
Yeah, there you go. That's perfect. Here, let's put a
Oh, Lutz.
torch there.
When you're, please let us know when you're done with the farm. Do you have any carpets to hand, by the way? Oh, do you know what? I can got everything in my ender chest. Carpet will be in this one. 1, 2. Just to be on the safe side, I'm thinking stack some carpets on top of the 1,
Oh yeah,
2,
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, that works.
Leave that in there. All right. Nicely done.
Nice.
Thanks for the help.
Good job, X.
Yeah, that worked out well.
That was cool.
Right, I'll see you around, Cub. I'm going to wrap up my stream.
All right. See you, Suma.
See you, dude. I do want to quickly just grab some stuff for a thumbnail. Like that, and then we'll probably put Scar on the Do you know what? Using flashback is absolutely amazing for making thumbnails. I'm going to stop recording and then start recording. And I just need a small bit for the thumbnail, and I can probably get together the assets to do that. I've really enjoyed doing that, actually. It's very very useful for that. Okay then, chat. There's a typo. Whatever. Like, as long as he gets the message, as long as it's not a typo where it's like, now that means something totally different, you know? Wait, he just moved. Oh no, wait. Us moving him would change his name. Yeah. Yeah, like, because it's when a player moves, not if they move themselves. I was expecting his name to be Grey, but it's not. Right, I'm going to wrap up the stream. We're going to find someone to raid. I have done a long one today. Wow, that actually went by super quick. And I like my guitar time, so I really want to make it a habit of meeting up with other hermits, but I seem to just never get on top of it, you know, because I think... Hey, Cleo's back on. Cleo hasn't been on as much lately. I hope she's doing well and everything's good. I think I'm just going to log out here for now. Yeah, I'm just going to log out. So I'm going to send you over to Cleo today. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm going to stream again tomorrow in the middle of the day, hopefully. Not sure if I can, but hopefully. So stick around, and then I'll stream the day after as well. So a couple more streams from me this year, don't worry. It's not the last one yet. Hope you enjoyed this one. Enjoy the raid. Enjoy some more Hermitcraft, and take care of yourselves. Bye bye.